And welcome back to the OCS, you lovely, lovely people. It's week 11 and I'm Jake Asterix-Ozzypenko. Bradley Tegan Seymour has been here for 11 weeks straight, and that is props. Tegan, how are you?
Honestly, I could be better.
Why?
Someone told me I might be in Japan right now.
Well,
my brother lives in Japan. I thought I was going to get to see my brother first time in 3 years.
Well, that's good. Let's have a look at yesterday's games, though, because yesterday's games were a little bit spicy. And this week in the OCS, we are defining who sits in the top 6 or who could potentially make the run.
And Dire Cubs have pretty much set in stone their run for the top 6. They have an important win when it comes to tiebreakers over Crimson Gaming. 7 wins. I think that will be enough to get you over the line.
At the moment, Crimson Gaming taking that loss, is that going to be what stops them? Is the biggest question. I think that's why we're looking at that game overall, because Tectonic Academy may have gotten a win, but in the first match, that defines maybe our top 6.
Well, you want to say that match defines it, and to an extent it does. They both still have a tough end of the season, but down to Avant Academy versus Chiefs Academy, Avant suffering a forfeit loss, sadly, and I think that has more playoff implications. There was a team that was starting to make their run. They were gaining momentum. They were starting to look really impressive, and sure, they weren't favored going into the match, but you don't even have a chance. You don't feel the roster. That really hurts.
But like I said, for this week, you want to make sure you get those wins because these are crucial matchups where the head-to-head might come into effect. And I have specially asked for the standings this week to prove that point. Now, the matchup, Tegan, I want to look at this week is between Emprox and on the other side, Bombers. Because a win on respective teams could be the safety net or the start of the run in Bombers' case.
Well, so for me, and this might be a little critical, 3 and 7 is just so unlikely to make that run.
Yep.
Yes, Bombers, they can theoretically run the season out, end 6 and 7, and then into some big head-to-head tie, they can scrape on in. But it's just so
not impossible.
Unlikely.
So you say that,
right,
but it's not impossible. What I see there is Bombers starting now, catching up to a team like Legacy Genesis, but it is going to be a lot more difficult. 3 weeks left, including this week. 6 is the maximum they can finish with. Not impossible, but it's going to be a hard run.
Yeah, well, for me, you know, for playoffs, you're going to need at least 7, if not 8 wins. I think 8 would be the safe number to sit there and be like, yep, we've made it. Let's start planning for best of 3s, planning for playoffs, who's going to be our opponent, and how do we react?
Because right now, Intuition Chiefs Academy, they're safe.
Yeah, they're locked in. They're locked in at top 2.
Top 2. I mean, top 6, I was going to be just to be safe, but top 2, Tegan, I'll take your word for it.
I mean, it's not my word for it. It's right there.
Right, like it's back. At the moment, a big lead. But this week, again, defining our plays, defining our teams. And we were looking for the stars of tomorrow. I think in Intuition and Chiefs Academy, we've started to find them. But tonight, we are going to see a little bit more of that. Intuition and Ground Zero. Now, this game, a bit of a formality. Is that fair to say, Tegan?
So you said we're looking for the stars of tomorrow. And that's what we're going to see from Ground Zero tonight. Is, yes, they can't make playoffs. The run is over for them as a team, but individually, these players now have the ability to prove themselves.
Yep.
Show that they're worthy of potentially a spot on Intuition, on Chiefs Academy, even as a sub. Try and throw your hat in for a longer sort of play for yourself instead of just worrying about week to week, can we win this?
They can also be they can't be kingmakers at this point because Intuition, they're the king. There's no one stopping them 10-0 unless Chiefs Academy can rise up through there. They can still make first.
Yeah, they can.
Okay, they can be kingmakers.
Well, it's them, and then
hate it when
Intuitions need to drop another game as well as Chiefs Academy winning out the rest of the season. So, still requires quite a lot to happen.
A lot of ifs, but Ground Zero, they've had a bit of a shaky season, but created some upsets where upsets weren't due. I think getting some wins over teams that maybe we didn't expect was Ground Zero's speciality. They had some unique plays. High T was the former focus as well, so it'd be a good way to kind of round out towards the later end of the season for Ground Zero and at least start and get some more wins on the board.
Well, yeah, it'd be great if they won more games.
I love
obviously.
how you try to be positive.
So for me, this whole game, I think it's a chance for the players themselves to prove themselves individually. Even if they don't win the game, which, make no mistake about it, is more than likely. Intuition are an incredibly strong team. They're 10-0. They've done that for a reason. You want to see players, like you said, High T, you want to see him have a breakout game. Here's a player who has always looked strong.
When he does, he goes, and a team like Intuition could falter to someone like High T who has that breakout game, yeah.
Well, it's also Fantix is stepping in on top of on the top lane because their former top laner obviously not old enough to play playoffs.
Unfortunate. Fudge is like a prodigy, isn't he?
Oh, for sure, without a doubt. When that kid hits the required age, he'll be back
Good game
for sure.
Good game playing. Let's have a look at those rosters there. So Fantic stepping in for Fudge. And we've got Guts there as well. So, I don't know. Plug, it's been a couple of weeks. Been 3 weeks since we've seen Plug last.
It's a curious situation. Obviously, we don't know anything about the backup staff. Is it Guts performing better week to week, or did they just say...
Nocturne's S tier at the moment, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
I mean, if we were going to talk about champ pools for Guts, we'd be talking about Zach instead of Nocturne. That seems to be his go-to pocket.
But Guts does play Nocturne. Like, it is a speciality of Guts.
Every jungler plays Nocturne right
now. Look, Guts plays it maybe a little bit. I don't know.
Let's get off Guts.
Sure.
Harry in the mid lane, Dream and Eladoric down bot. And I was saying I expect High T to have a breakout game. Tough opposition for him, but if he does manage it, that's a staple.
Especially when you have Dominators stepping into the support position, where we've seen the majority of the split for Dominator has been in the jungle. Faulkner came in week 5, week 6, I believe, and made a bit of an impact, but it wasn't enough. Dominator returns to the support position, so I don't know how they're synergizing in the bottom side of the map. I don't know how the meta's affecting them. Ground Zero, for better or for worse, going up against Intuition, where's the focus lane?
Well, it's a difficult one. You could easily say the focus lane is top because, again, you have Fantic stepping in. You can abuse that subbed position. But again, it's Fantic, so can you really?
Maybe.
For me, it's Bolly.
You said he was washed up last week.
No, I did not.
You might have.
I absolutely
You led
did not.
me to say he was washed up last week, and I said, Tegan, that's
slander.
Rude. It's not really slander. To be fair, you can't sue me. Oh, can you? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I hope OCS can't sue me. It's too late. It's week 11. If you haven't sued me yet, keep on going. No. Tegan, one question for you, though. Is Fantix, not washed up, is Fantix putting on the best performance from what we've seen?
Well, what do you mean? The best performance of his life?
No,
probably not.
No, okay.
Best performance of the team? Again, it's hard to say he is. You have a great team combined on Intuition, so you can't really say, yeah, he's going to step in and be the best player, especially when it's not his main role. Well,
the experience in the past leads us to believe that Intuition's top laner Fantix will put up a good show. And as we jump on in, remember it is 8.14 T-Gun. And throughout here, I think we're going to have to sit down, take a step back, and realize that 8.14, there were some major changes, but there were also some big changes that I think have gone a little bit silently into the night. Namely, the Aatrox change.
Well, it's because he's still just incredible.
He's great, but he's balanced
out. I still hesitate to say balanced.
Well,
I'd say he's still S tier. He's still first pick ban worthy. I would say that his lane priority would change in terms of, do you send him mid, do you send him top? There's always going to be questions there now.
Yeah.
I prefer when he gets sent mid. I think he's better off there. However, some people still think he's a great top laner and should be predominantly played there. So questions now arising, but still definitely in the S tier, definitely ban worthy.
But a big ban there from Kindred, from Ground Zero against Kindred. At the moment, Kindred has been also a kind of an S tier pick in the OCS. Last week, we saw quite a lot of Kindred. This week, we might be banned out. Nocturne's still open, as we're talking about.
Nocturne would be a slam pick here. You also have Morgana and Rakan both available. So a lot of top tier picks.
The return of Xayah Rakan too is being big.
Yes, because of Stormrazor. So true.
Wow, thank you.
Easy pick away here for Ground Zero. You take Xayah Nocturne here, you're quite happy. You have a great ADC because of the prevalence of Stormrazor. Great first item.
But Eladoric is such a good Rakan. One of the best Rakans, I dare say, in the OCS.
He is, but Morgana is still available. So you have 3 picks here that are pretty straightforward if you just play by the books, by the meta. You go Nocturne, Xayah, 3rd pick Morgana, no matter what your opponent takes, because they've opened with Rakan and because of how the band's played out. That being said, you do have still personal preferences. Yep. You could go with something like Fiddlesticks, like Shen, like Palm Kench in support, if you think those are better. If they lock in Lucian, then they do.
Wow.
I'm not a fan of this because they leave open the Xayah Rakan.
I mean, at the moment, for Intuition, their laning phase has been the one shred of weakness, and even then, it's not something to be open. Yes. Yeah. Okay. But with the Xayah Rakan, Dream and Eladoric, they're going to have a good time. Ezreal was open, which is a Dream special, but they go towards the duo, the synergy, the love that you and I might have one day, and I'm looking forward to Intuition, see if they pick the jungle in this first rotation. Wow. Flubber's open.
There's enough junglers left, and you're obviously not getting Nocturne that you're not pressured to pick it.
Okay.
So it's about see, I called this.
Guts and I, we obviously on the same wavelength there.
You said he was going to be the Nocturne player. I said he's the Zac player.
Yeah, and I just said Flubber's open. Flubber is Guts. If you do not think Flubber's Guts, ladies and gentlemen, come on, grow up.
You can't say that you called it when I did.
Well, okay, look. Bygones be potatoes and potatoes. I don't know. Ketchup, you know, whatever. Lucian Brom, obvious
Okay,
I've watched a lot of Simpsons this week.
It's still a strong duo from Ground Zero. And this was a duo that was better than Zaya Rakan for quite a while until the majors started making appearance spot lane.
Okay.
So taking it into the Zaya Rakan, I do like it. It's very straightforward for Braum to play. The second Rakan goes in, you jump on your ADC, put your shield up, nothing happens. So it's more of a passive lane to happen. But in my eyes, there was no need to give Intuition the Zaya Rakan, which can be so aggressive in the mid game, in the late game, where Intuition has shown strong.
But I see Intuition setting themselves up for a heavy backline engage. I mean, Rakan, as well as Zach, easily able to get back there. Lucian Braum still been having a pretty strong laning phase at the moment. I see the Gangplank ban. I see myself looking at the top side of the map and wondering what Hyper and Fantix will end up going.
It's still so open up there. Aurelia, another champion that can go up top as well, still available. Fallen through the draft so far, but with good reason. So many priority picks left open. Darius, Mundo, they're all being left open, and these bans are sort of leading us towards that holy trinity.
So Tegan, question for you. Okay.
You have many.
Yeah, I have so many. In 8.14 and these jungle changes, does this influence our jungle pool to start off?
No.
I've got so many more. I've like listed them up here as well.
No, there's so let me grandstand a bit on a soapbox. I hate the fact that they changed Machete to have a debuff that punishes you for being strong. Yes, it was about stopping funneling.
I experienced that today.
It was about stopping
4
funneling.
gold for a cannon for a minion.
It's as simple as this. On teams that have strong junglers, like for example, let's talk about Chiefs Academy, where we see them get ahead so aggressively in the jungle, he will now be punished. He can no longer tax waves essentially, because he's going to get no gold from it.
I mean, does Guts do the same thing? Is it an aggressive jungler? Is this going to affect
Not on
him?
Zac. Not on Zac.
Okay.
On Nocturne, we might see it happen.
Maybe.
Nocturne can get ahead, start snowballing Lee quite readily. So if Faulkner starts just doing extremely well, being the leading, I believe it happens if you have the most gold on your team.
Wow.
Suddenly you can't tax waves because you just get nothing.
I feel like this was overlooked though, Tegan. Yasuo getting locked in. So many knockups. It's like, it's such a silver thing to say. But there are so many knockups on the side of Intuition. That is Hayri's dream. And what is the final thing locked in? Is Fantix care? No, that could even be Yasuo top at this rate.
I would say it's much more likely mid.
Maybe.
It can be top, so we won't count it out. I will just say Yasuo with knockups, that's a luxury.
Yeah.
We see Yasuo just always picked because it's a strong champion. Now, like you said, with all these knockups for Rakan W, Zac's whole kit basically, that is pretty much the dream scenario.
Oh yeah.
But you can't
Good dream
now...
scenario.
Stop it. You can't now just pigeonhole yourself into saying, hey, I'll let other people do the work for me. You still need to be proactive and play your own game. And just, if Zac gets a 3-man, if Rakan gets a 3-man knockup, you're thankful, you go in on it, but that can't be your main focus.
No, but at this rate, the last response is going to be Ground Zero picking up the Cassiopeia, and most likely the Yasuo going into that. So pretty safe composition, but Ground Zero relying on these laning phases. I mean, Mundo, the only one who, even then, Mundo falls behind, Mundo's nothing, so...
He's gonna struggle into the rise.
But you need to snowball. If you're Ground Zero right now, you're relying on Nocturne to snowball the lanes.
Yeah, well, Nocturne, I've said it before, is defined by his first few ganks. Namely, I would say the first 2. If he doesn't get anything happening, suddenly he's nowhere near as influential as he wants to be. And in a comp like this, where you said, and you were spot on, they need to start snowballing, especially against a team like Intuition to have a chance. I would expect he's going to end up bot or mid and just leave Mundo on his own devices.
Yeah, because Intuition, this is the same every other week. We say they have easy to execute compositions. Not only are they some of the best players in the league, as shown by the 10-0 start, but they just pick these compositions that are easy to execute. Who's going in? It's Guts. It's Alidoric. Who's following up? Dream, Harry, and Fantix have all got the same role. They're going to be doing damage. They're going to be a threat. Who do you aim for? Question's going to be on Ground Zero's head.
I really love the fact that they have carries on the side of Intuition that can fend for themselves as well.
Oh, yeah.
You have a lot of dive. A lot of people are just going to go as far back, kill the backline as fast as possible, and dream on Xayah. Xayah's a champion where you're completely okay leaving her to fend for herself, leaving her to peel with no help. So they've really thought it through, and credit to, I assume it's Fantix still doing the drafting even while he's playing.
Of course.
So providing his team with such an easy comp. On the side of Ground Zero, they have given themselves win conditions, being getting ahead early. Try and win the 2v2 down bot lane. Let Nocturne farm till 6th, then build situations where he can impact them. You know? Try and bait the Yasuo to overextend potentially in the mid lane, maybe even topside with Rise. You know that Fantix is going to want to punish the Mundo early and just try and poke him down, prod him down, stop him from CSing, so you can end up there as well. And there's definitely opportunities, but it has to be a team effort from Ground Zero.
Well, Ground Zero, they do not want to prolong the game any more than they really want. Right now, Intuition going into Ground Zero. Again, it's can Intuition be defeated? The story on our mind each and every week. And Intuition, a simple comp, they make it out of laning phase, they force a team fight. And if it gets to that point, 30, 40 minutes in the game, I fear for Ground Zero. So let's see pedal to the metal. Let's see Ground Zero making an effort to shut down the Kings of the OCS.
I was saying it before we even started that I wanted High T to really solidify himself as this potential recruit for OPL teams in years to come. Show that he can earn that spot.
Because you can see why. In previous weeks, you can see exactly why. Intuition. Aladoric and Dream walking into the bot side. Ward will be dropped. 10 gold. Is that GG, T-Gun? I don't think so.
That's the type of thing you type in solo
No
queue
chat.
when you get it. Just hit them with the 10 gold thanks and walk away. I would love to see if they potentially had the new zombie ward mastery.
Oh, that's
814,
right.
extra true damage.
Let's explain to our viewers, T-Gun, what's going on there.
So whenever you kill a ward with the mastery, which I wouldn't expect Lucian to
Isn't
have,
it 30 damage?
it is 30 damage at level 1, which is a pretty significant amount.
For destroying a ward, you get rewarded with the gold, plus more.
Ooh, Guts. Oh, I thought he was going to run into level 2 gank bot. I love that. Zyra Khan have probably close to the strongest level 1 down bot lane.
And level 2, I'd agree as well. Oh, Lucian, look, am I wrong maybe? Who knows?
I would say it's pretty much matched by Lucian Brawl.
Yeah.
In terms of like how strong you are early. Aladoric taking Q instead of his W, his knock-up, really cements the fact that nothing's going to happen down there level 1. But I would have loved to see Zach just go down there. They sort of cheesily gank there really early and let Aladoric and Dream just roll over the 2v2. As it happens, Guts just goes back to farming, sits in the jungle, and for me, he's probably going to be outpaced by the Nocturne if that's his game plan.
But he wants to be over the map. I mean, Guts as well. He can't just sit idly by and let Faulkner have his way in these lanes. Guts, probably one of the few champions at the moment, can go straight to Raptors, apart from Nocturne. But Faulkner, as you said, going to outpace. So, Tegan, let's keep an eye on this, as Nocturne has a slightly greater clear.
You're just seeing why Nocturne is such a top pick right now. He is easily pick ban in every region in the world, and because he does it all. Very fast clear speed.
I mean, not
great
just that,
ganks.
it's great influence on lanes. I mean, level 6 of Nocturne is such a threat. If you don't know where the enemy jungler is, Guts is like, how do I match him? Because I can't see him on the map, but he can see the lanes.
Well, to be fair, at a high level, generally, even if you can't see the enemy jungler, you know roughly where they will be. Just by their clear path, by the timing of their camps. Intuition should know Falcon's going to be on the top side of the map.
You think Fantix, he drops a ward anyway, he won't spot the jungler, but he had a bit of an idea. As Hyper, yes, it is a good Mundo skin, I appreciate that. Just in case, you're going to bring it up anyway, T-Gun, let's be honest, mate.
He's been played so often that all we talk about is his skins.
It's more important. It's like, how does Mundo trade? Nah, who cares?
You refuse to admit that Mr. Mundoverse is the best one.
T-Gun, like I said, it's the reason that this game is MA. Or MA 15 plus.
Which is fine.
Which is not fine.
Absolutely fine.
How are we going to reach a younger audience?
That's,
you know?
that's not our problem.
That's a commercial question.
It's not our problem.
Well, mate, a lot of people have said that, and it becomes their problem. So I'll hold you, and I'll wait until we eventually tackle it head on. Ground Zero, though, getting pushed in nice and early, as the Zyra Khan lane expects. But one thing you haven't noticed on the map already is that both scuttles have been taken. Guts finally getting around to his blue, but Faulkner, a level up, clearing just that extra bit faster. He'll go back after a full clear. And expect to see him somewhere else on the map, rushing to 6. Well, Guts tries to make an impact before then.
It's something we haven't touched on is Zach generally does the same thing as Nocturne, where he doesn't want to gank super early.
But he can, though.
The range on his slingshot at level 1 is dismal. So he wants to farm up, get to at least level 5, get some points in it, get some distance. Because at level 1, it's essentially not even half a screen. And as far as Zach is concerned, his real utility comes from his engage range. So he'll do the same thing as Nocturne and just farm up, try and push for, level 5, 6, 7 as fast as possible and then get active.
Aladoric, not too big for his britches. Dominator not taking the favorable trades there. At the moment for Ground Zero, remember what we said at the start of the game, everyone. Laning phases are crucial here. And although Zyra can't have a great laning phase, Lucian Brom, 6? We start seeing them push out a little bit more, start matching a little bit more at the moment. Hayri, 10 CS up in the mid lane, so Intuition, a pretty standard start.
Well, in terms of the bot lane, the Lucian Braum, it's so difficult for them to just go trade for trade against the Zaire Khan. They really want to either always fight, pretty much all in constantly, or never fight. So you are going to see them get pushed in, especially at this point. They've already taken too much in terms of trading. What they need to do here is call Faulkner down, say, hey, we need to back.
Or they can just fight anyway. The Ignite drop down, flash away too. Aladoric, no mana to get back in that fight, and Summoner for Summoner.
That was Aladoric trying to push the triangle through a square hole.
I mean, he got a heal out, so he did win favorably.
Yeah, they do win the trade, but that was a position where, for Intuition, it could go wrong. Now, if you're Intuition in this game, you know that the longer this game goes, the better it gets for you. Now you see Guts coming in.
He just slingshots on top of Dominator. Both AD carry and support rooted up. A double kill imminent. High T doesn't go down first, but his support does. 2 kills, and Intuition start the boat rocking.
And that's what Aladoric's plan was. You have to say that he had the foresight to say, we can bait out summoners right now, punish them a little bit, bring Guts in, and complete that play in 20, 30 seconds. And
oh, yeah.
Guts comes in, 2 kill credits, 1 kill, 1 assist straight away. Faulkner now level 6 needs to equalize that, needs to get active on the map.
He wants to try to, but he's gone in for the repeat game. Guts is already here. Last breath, Cadence ignited, flash away. Paranoia does nothing. And Faulkner way too late.
He tries to help his mid laner, burns his cooldown for it, and we said before the game started, Nocturne is defined by his first 2 ganks. First one, not good. Where does he go from here?
Second one, he doesn't have Paranoia available. Fantic's trying to fight his way out. Sadism pop there. Realm Warp, he's not out just yet. He flashes, and Faulkner has one to repeat in, gets the hits. Third one's a charm, and Faulkner will finally get a response.
Good play there from Faulkner, just sort of saving that lack of ultimate in mid lane. Runs up to top, Fantic's overextended, gets the kill. Fantic's almost got out there, but he flashed into the very edge of the Nocturne.
And he doesn't have teleport, so there's going to be a lot of damage going in on this top lane turret. No response bot side, even with the shove in. And that kill with the BF sword. So Intuition's bottom lane going to try and get something across the map.
So I was saying at the start of this game that the bot lanes, in terms of their drafting, are about even in power. At this point, that is completely different.
Oh, they're going to get this as well.
They stuck it out.
So they share it. First turret blood, a good response from Ground Zero. Meanwhile, mid lane, though, is this what it cost? Cadence, his second death. And now Yasuo has 2 kills under his belt.
I'd still say it's a favorable trade for Ground Zero.
Well,
you love that tower.
Pause here, Tegan. Hyper.
He has flash. He's fine.
Yeah, okay.
He's out.
Not going to burn it.
Sketchy, but he's out.
A little bit sketchy, bit edgy if you're a team. Ward dropped there, favorably so. Ground Zero's bottom lane, they just have to run away.
So back to that first tower trade, because it is a trade. You know, your jungler has to sit in the lane, smack that tower for so long that Guts is going to get active elsewhere. We see it happen in mid. You still take that trade as Ground Zero. As much as it sucks, Cadence probably should have been back a bit further. Just sit under your tower. Understand that while your team is doing something, because it isn't a gank, but you're still committing resources up there, you do have to concede things on the opposite side.
Oh, Cadence goes golden, maybe favorably so. Hayri, his last Steel Tempest does not kill Cadence, but who is it? It's Fantix from the side. Realm Warp not available either. Cadence will survive this one, but he's 30 CS down, Tegan.
The real worrying sign there is Hayri did it under the tower.
Oh, yeah.
Happily just dove under the tower, knowing that the stopwatch was there. Burns the stopwatch this early. That will basically never be a zone use at the rate this game is going. That is a huge thing to commit for Cadence. And it's only going to get worse here for him.
And I mean, Fantix has just swapped as well. Bottom side goes top after getting that turret, and Fantix is just going to swap all the way around to the bottom side of the map. Right now with the Cloud Drac still, Intuition looks like they have map control.
So to me, it's interesting that they did execute this swap. They're obviously placing little to no priority on Cloud Drake. Rift Herald hasn't even spawned yet, so there was potential to send your duo bot, collect that Cloud Drake, and then get up top. But instead, they just do the standard thing, you know, take the bot tower, swap it out. Ground Zero didn't answer, didn't swap after they took top tower, so now feeling the pain because Hyper, he can't deal with this duo.
There is a response coming up to the top side, and Intuition knows, so they back away, but Ground Zero feels like they're on the back foot here. Still a massive CS discrepancy in the mid lane, and in the bottom side as well.
And the top side.
And the
it's
kills.
Across the board.
Right now, Intuition, laning phases are what they had to keep steady, but they've done more than that. They've turned it into a win, or at least a winning condition. 2.5k gold lead at 10 minutes in the game. You see why they're 10-0. And Ground Zero, a big task ahead of them. They have to be more than just responding. They have to be proactive here with the plays. It begins with Dream and Aladoric as 3 members topside.
Yeah, the only one on Ground Zero that's really pulling his weight is Faulkner. And even that being said, his first ultimate sucked. So he needs to get active on
Good
the
on
map.
you for being nice, T-Gun.
How else can you say it?
It was cut to an end. It was not fantastic.
Yeah, it sucked.
Okay. Well, look, I'm a nice guy. I don't know about you, mate, but it wasn't.
Anyone who has to say they're a nice guy isn't a nice guy.
You reckon?
Absolutely.
So you reckon I'm a bit of a dickhead, dude?
I didn't say it.
I mean, people think we hate each other, so that's fair enough, you know. Any comment right now is just going to make it worse.
Yeah, you're digging yourself a hole.
I am. However, at the moment, you know who's not digging themselves a hole? Intuition. Their mid lane is still pushing up, and it's the worst recovery of my life.
You tried.
I apologize.
I mean, you could have said they're digging a hole for Ground Zero.
There's no response here whatsoever. Ground Zero trying to move, but the turret already gone. They don't want to defend it. And
they barely save it.
A bait turret, you call it?
Absolutely. That turret will fall over to a Stiff Breeze, to a Rakan auto. That turret is gone. So even though you do want to keep it on the map, you can't just sit there and leave Cadence there alone because he does not have that safety net. I guarantee he will get 1v1 dove by Hayri if he stays there.
Speaking of 1v1, Fantix has found himself hyper, but the sadism pop now. Realm Warp to get out as well. Near side, but get who follows the corkscrew. As he goes golden, Faulkner has to deal with Guts, but there's no damage out of Zac. Flubber will bring themselves backwards. Yasuo's coming down to the bottom side, and Faulkner and Hyper know this. They have to get away. Guts goes back in. Great slingshot to start the last breath, and a 1-for-1 trade.
1-for-1 trade, but a huge commit. Up the top side, you leave your duo in a 2v2, which they already were not winning. And Intuition punish up there. Because at this point, leaving them in the 2v2 is a slap in the face.
Oh, yeah.
You can't do that. Intuition, the bot side, we would call that a wash, but up top, get the extra tower.
So now, with that discrepancy, you add more turrets, you add more structures. A 4K gold lead, Intuition keep building on this, and Hayri's getting these kills. It's great that, you know, Hyper might get a trade, Faulkner might get a trade, but right now, the Cassiopeia and Lucian are so far behind of their respective laners. And Amundo might be okay, but you're going up against the Rise, he's just going to scale with you anyway, and most likely get some shredding.
Mundo is not going to be okay. He is going to be torn apart
right
by
now.
the Xayah and the Yasuo.
Even Guts can't get near him. Hyper doesn't have sadism available. Fantix walking forward. Meanwhile, Faulkner actually gets a shutdown onto Hayri, so good news bears for Ground Zero.
It's so confusing for Faulkner. His ultimates have not been that impactful, but
he
he's
gets
finding
kills
these
without
kills
them.
elsewhere. I have no idea how they caught Hayri there. All things considered, he probably shouldn't have been pushed up that far, knowing that his duo had been
Gaze wasn't even used. Ignite still on Cadence. So how?
Huge pickup for Ground Zero. Now the Rift Herald, if they manage to take this down, massive for them. But Dream and Aladoric can almost 2v4 here.
Well, they're not thinking about it because Dream's still in the mid lane. It's just going to be poking the head in of Aladoric. So Rift Herald take it up, and Ground Zero, their avenue back into this game is building up. Mid lane turret, one of the Outer's few remaining.
Right. So it is a huge pickup for them, make no mistake about it. However, when you have Rift Herald and you're behind, using it to break open turrets is incredibly difficult. Dream and Aladoric, they might find Faulkner here,
He's
but
been caught out. He's not even going to be able to react. Dream a killing spree. That storm raises, and here we go again.
They are so deep in the top side here. I have no idea how they got there unbound.
IT probably should not. Dream, Aladoric, the combo working well. 4th kill. Dream and Aladoric don't even need to keep going. Cadence can't get anywhere near for a Petrifying Gaze, and TP cancelled there by Fantix. Intuition just back away and keep stealing away resources from Ground Zero.
Dominator almost saves High T there, but just not there in time.
This is like the 5th time you said almost as well.
That's how the game has went for Ground Zero. They have been so close multiple times and have not got the better end of it. Now, up in topside, Intuition's vision control that whole time is what allowed them to find those kills, both on Faulkner and then High T following. And I don't even know if Ground Zero can start fighting that vision control. Every pink you put down is going to be cleared at the cost of potentially 1 ward.
I mean, if you go for contesting vision control right now, who are you hoping is contesting it? No one from Intuition. Maybe Fantix. He's only got the Archangel staff, but he's still doing a lot of damage. First item's getting built, but still, High T does not have that Blade of the Ruined King. Storm Razors and close to the Rapid Fire Cannon for Dream. Stormrazor's got nerfed in 8.14. Minor nerf, I'll say. But it's still doing a lot of work at this stage of the game.
It is still the #1 item pickup for many ADCs,
like
Xayah especially.
What is the crit?
It is what has pulled her back into fruition.
Oh, yeah.
That and the teleport changes, mind you, have helped
We
bring
didn't talk
ADCs
about that,
back.
did we? So, Tegan, just a quick, while we're looking at Cloud Drake.
Oh, for sure. It's just a straight nerf. 60 seconds added to the cooldown of teleport, 40 seconds added if you cancel it anyway. So, no two ways about it, straight nerf, and that's what's pulled away mages from the bot lane.
And maybe even Ezreal. That's something we'll talk about in future champ selects for tonight, but a Cloud Drake picked up and Intuition continuing to move ahead.
And in case Intuition didn't have enough going for them, it is an Infernal Drake next.
Oh, yeah.
As if they did not have enough
Paranoia.
avenues.
Realm Warp, Fantix gets out, but he's been fleeing. Guts goes in, a flash away, Hyper headbutts him, and now for Guts, can he make the escape himself? He'll drop an Ignite, he'll do the Let's Bounce for Aladoric. Hyper, so tanky though. Do they turn on Faulkner? The answer is yes, and now the right target's been hit. Faulkner drops, and guess what? Dream gets his 5th.
So it's a 1-for-1 trade, and usually when teams are behind, I would say, yeah, that's fine, that you want that. But you don't want to give more kills to Dream.
Hayri doesn't know the collapse is here, but now he does to make the grand escape. Petrifying Gaze only slows. High T not doing enough damage. Hayri wants a big knock-up. He'll get the last breath onto High T. The Ignite dropping down as well. Only Relic Shield saves the day.
You love to see it as a support player. The
Good old
quick
Dominator.
Thinking, get the Relic Shields off, keep your ADC alive. Hayri almost makes the best out of a bad situation there. And Ground Zero, they are showing that they're aware they have to be proactive. They have to try and make plays. They don't want to just slowly bleed out against Intuition. And yes, they're at a huge deficit right now. The majority of that likely on Dream alone. With now 2 completed items, 70 CS lead 5 kills. It's massive disparity. There's still signs of life from Ground Zero.
There are, and at this point in the game, Intuition, usually it's one big team fight that changes everything. Let's cast our minds back to last week as the Rift Herald. I think it just timed out there, T-Gun.
Yep.
No need to put your hands in the air, mate.
Well,
look, he forgot about it. There's a lot of fighting.
That's still bad from you if you let it time out.
Look, right now, Ground Zero, there's a 5-man push, though, so at least they're using the pressure of the Rift Herald.
Fantix
6v5.
almost has teleport, so he can get down here if a fight breaks out.
Charge only does half. Now Intuition forcing it a flash forward. They've already found one last breath onto Cadence, and not good for Ground Zero. Guts bops them together, and on the back line, Faulkner may make it go nearsighted, and a flash away again. It means nothing. Ground Zero, they're on the back foot, and Aladoric is getting every single knock-up for none. And Intuition showing their prowess once again.
Just a great collapse from Fantix there. I don't even know if he was necessary for Intuition to win that one. Aladoric finding key targets back to back to back as they run them down. 4 kills, that's going to be an inhibitor. That will lead into Baron for Intuition as well. And unless Faulkner is able to do the improbable, steal Baron away and just lengthen the game for Ground Zero.
I love how you didn't say impossible there.
Pardon?
I love how you didn't say impossible there.
It isn't.
It is not.
Faulkner, he has been the redeeming factor for Ground Zero time and time again this game. He has been finding things off the back, just finding Intuition when they step a bit too far. And it's very possible for him to get in and get that steal, especially with his ultimate.
Yeah.
So, still, signs of life. But
one big fight, T-Gun.
This is a...
What did I say 2 minutes before? One big fight. And Intuition, they found it as usual. The shot calling has been proud as Hyper. Yeah, he'll steal that one.
You take those.
With a ukulele. You do. In times like this, you definitely do. But right now, what's on the map for Ground Zero? Resources at an all-time low, and Baron's up in 35 seconds. A 10k gold lead, just about. Guts has found Dominator, and Aladoric's here to stay too. He'll get the knock-up, force the flash, and over the wall with Baron getting ever so close.
A little too, they cannot contest this red. Ground Zero need to concede this. Intuition are already there, so this is a bit greedy by them to even be in the jungle at this point.
Kane's in a dangerous position when Guts can slingshot over the wall. Red buff will go over to Dream, and now Baron, it's here to play. Faulkner Dominator. Remember, there is no flash on anyone except Cadence. The next pick could be lights out. Intuition is so far ahead. They're going to get this top lane inner. No contention.
They don't even need Baron to just walk them away.
Dream's just so far ahead. Dominator, even with Unbreakable, is going to take so much damage. This is why you don't walk into Dream 8-0-2. Unbreakable means nothing, and Intuition stormed the base.
That was so disrespectful of Dream. He walked forward solo under the tower and gets the kill because
To a Brom bloody shield.
there's
That's what
nothing
happened.
Ground Zero could do.
And they just ult onto Hyper. Nothing happens. Faulkner goes in, tries to redeem himself, and that's going to be all she wrote as Intuition showing us exactly why they are first seed in the OCS, and they are just cleaning house with every single team.
I think this might actually be the fastest game of the OCS this season.
I think it might be, unless there's a Wednesday game we haven't seen T-Gun. But at the moment, Intuition showing us they want to make the OPL. They are the stars of tomorrow, and no one stands in the way of our ex-pros and our growing stars.
What a clean game. Clean except for Hayreed killing
He just
himself
died
with
to
the
a
fountain.
turret, yep. Oh no, yeah, same thing.
Hey, they earned the right to farm kills at the end there. 20 minutes,
You
50
said that
seconds.
before.
Well, whenever you have such a commanding victory.
It's like, where are my sheets of paper? Here we go, this is what I rely on. They had a commanding
Well, you have a
victory.
book, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I put it aside because I got some help with the remote. Anyway, for Intuition, now 11-0. So they got 2 weeks left, and I think this is going to be, it could be close to a flawless victory. The first ever one in the OCS.
For them, at this point, it's all about
Maybe.
just testing strategies, building towards best of threes,
Yep.
get more acclimatized to having Fantix top, because I believe that is what they are going for the playoffs at this point. You are more able to just drop a game at this point. You just try out new things. Instead of going to something like Zach, which Guts has played, I would
Many
say
times.
close to 1,000 times at this point.
Yeah.
More than likely.
Okay.
You want to go to things that he's not comfortable on. Not only in practice, but potentially on game day as well. So for them, they need to start branching out and showing different strategies as opposed to just drafting as cleanly as they did.
Well, for Ground Zero, though, if they weren't kind of out of this one before, definitely now 2-9, I can confirm, because that's like the safety net of confirming right now.
They were already out.
But for Intuition, where does this stop? Because
At the
other
OPL.
teams, well, no, but other teams would be looking at playoffs, such as Chiefs Academy, and going, we couldn't beat them in the regular split. How do we beat them now? Best of 3 format. Does that shake a team like Intuition, who a lot of them are accustomed to it?
So it's all about drafting when it comes to best of threes and how you react to things. It's very different. For Chiefs Academy, they have to take solace in the fact that for the first 10 minutes of their game against Intuition, they were in control. They were dictating the pace, being proactive. So they can't just go in and thinking, hey, we lost to them. That's it.
But the first 10 minutes of that game was in control, was controlled by Intuition, which is something you'd say sometimes it's a bit even.
Different team, though.
Yeah, but it's still the same team with Intuition.
Yes, but there's no way you can equate Intuition beating
No.
Ground Zero to Intuition beating Chiefs Academy.
No, but still, it's still their laning phase. It doesn't matter who it's against, right?
It does.
No, it
Yes,
doesn't. No.
Chiefs Academy were winning leading phase.
All right, anyway, look, we're going to go on a 5-minute break while T-Gun and I discuss this. We'll be back with more OCS after this. T-Gun, I'm telling you,
There's no discussion.
It doesn't matter.
There is no discussion.
No, it doesn't
It
matter.
does matter.
It does not. Welcome back to the OCS. It's still a black screen. Help, there we are. Welcome back to the OCS for week 11. My name's Jake Asterix Zipenko, Bradley Tigger, Seymour Tigger. I didn't think we were coming on there, to be honest, so it's good to be here.
I mean, after the argument we just had, you were probably hoping that you could get away with it.
Nah, it's all right. We'll go into game 2 now, and Bombers versus Mprox. This one's going to be on edge because of one reason alone. If Bombers lose this, they cannot get 6 points, which is our top 6 and what they're sitting on right now.
Yeah, if they lose this, they are out. Simple as that. And for a team that has not been impressive, they need to come in hot here. It's been simple. If Treasy has not got Zoe, they have looked pretty abysmal. So hopefully they've worked on that.
I think Treasy has been the highlight of Bombers every single week.
The highlight and the low light.
And the low light, I'll say that as well. But on the side of Mprox, they've had many different lanes. And of course, this week, they have crawled in an emergency sub in RP up in the top side instead of Thean. So they will be losing 3 bans in champ selects, which means maybe Bombers, you know, anything's open.
I will say, in terms of who you had to sub out, I'm assuming something had come up pretty late for this to happen. You didn't lose Youngcat, you didn't lose Chaz, you've kept the 2 carries. So, yes, it sucks losing the 3 bans and making an emergency sub. You have to adjust so much coming into the game, but you still have the key players for your team. They've been moved towards using Youngcat more often. So potentially we see them focus even further on the bot side now that you, I assume, place less priority on top side.
I still see the focus in mid, though. No matter what, I see Chaz, I see... No, because Chaz and Treasy, I'm surprised you don't like Treasy.
I love Treasy.
You love him.
Absolutely. He's a wonderful bloke.
You're a caster, be neutral. Treasy versus Chaz is going to be the matchup. Mid lane is what it's all about in these 2 teams. If Mprox get a win here as well, they will be at 7 wins. They'll be pretty much a safety net and pretty hard to rock at the moment.
Yeah, that's sure. The end part of that is true. If they get this, they're on 7 wins. It's like a nice safe spot. But I disagree that it's all about mid here. I think that Mprox have been shifting towards playing bot side. And you can play, assuming you ban out Zoe, you can play pretty much whatever you want mid safely. I think Orianna, as a pick for Chaz, he's shown he's comfortable on it. They can take that first blindly into anything, including Zoe. So, as far as priority on mid lane, I don't see it.
But let's talk about inconsistencies, because we just saw Ground Zero, arguably, as you said, getting a little bit stomped by Intuition. That's fair. No, that is fair, because it was...
It was the shortest game we've seen.
It was the shortest game we've seen. Mprox have lost to Ground Zero. And sure, it was a couple of moons ago, a couple of metas ago. But when you say that, when you see that, you're like, Mprox inconsistent.
That was a long time ago.
But it doesn't matter.
It does.
Mprox lost to Grounds. It bloody matters, T-Gun.
Yeah, the loss obviously matters, and they showed that they are fallible. They can make pretty significant mistakes. But I feel like they've rectified that. They've come out of that. They come out of it stronger. And anytime you do lose, especially to the bottom teams, you need to take a good, hard, long look at the games, work out what went wrong, why it went wrong, and fix that. And I think they have.
They lost to Mammoth as well, though. So Mammoth at the moment, they're 5-5, right? Or 6-5.
They are 6-4.
6-4. Thank you very much. Mammoth at the moment, arguably maybe in the same league with Mprox, but Mprox
they definitely are.
Yes, but well, we could argue about it if we want.
Couldn't.
That's why it's arguably.
We agree.
Anyway, I agree with you. Sure. 6-4 is a good start. Never mind. Move forward. Mprox, he turned me into a loop, man. I just keep going and going and going. Mprox have taken inconsistent losses. And this is what for Bombers would be like, this could be a good matchup. Bombers sometimes can be a little bit crazy. Yes, Treasy will most likely pick Zoe in the mid lane, but Mprox can't decide that. It's not their time to ban.
They can decide that.
No, they can't.
Oh, you're right. You are right.
They've lost 3 damn bans, T-Gun. And Bombers Academy have an opportunity here. 3-7, everything on the line. This is where games count. It might be a bit of pressure. Under the pressure, let's see if they strike.
Do you just slam first pick Zoe as Bombers? I would say it's more than likely.
I would.
Again, that's been Treasy's best champion. He's quite proficient at it. And when he has it, they are a different team. That being said, there is going to be so many strong things left up. Bombers Academy, they're still banning out strong picks. You know, the Kindred, the Heimerdinger, we've seen them played quite actively and banned out as well. But you leave open Nocturne, Rakan, Morgana. Like, all of these champions, they're going to be through the bans. And if you place priority on Zoe, Mprox can take something like Xayah Rakan straight away.
I give another question to that and say, will Sprenstarmer still prioritize something like Ezreal? Sprenstarmer and Dream are big Ezreal players, and we saw Dream move off of Ezreal will Sprenstarmer do the same?
Well, I would hazard a guess yes. Like I said in the previous game, the teleport nerf has really affected bot lane. It's made mages a little less viable, and Ezreal was another big teleport taker, so another champion that's going to hurt from it.
These are 3 big bans, though. Kindred, Morgana, and Heimerdinger, things that have been rising in succession, right? Succession? No, who cares? Morgana is a big pick in the OCS.
That was a big pick everywhere.
Yet, we did not see her last game.
Yeah.
We did not see it. Did we see a ban? I don't think we even saw a ban.
We did not.
Finally, the priority shifts, and Bombers Academy, they get first pick.
Well, so just touching on the previous game, yeah, I fully expect Zoe here, is the reason Morgana didn't get picked is because you had the traditional duo lanes. The Xayah Rakan and the Lucian Braum, these two champions just fit so well together. So that's why she sort of got passed over.
This is going to be a really moment. So Rakan is a strong pick, but is it a Bombers pick?
Maybe they don't expect Chaz to ever play Zoe. So you can get away with letting it fall through the draft.
I would say Chaz played LeBlanc. Why not Zoe?
I'm not saying he's not going to pick it. I'm saying
just asking questions.
In the head of Bombers Academy, and I figure you could get there better than I can because Mendrick's a good friend of yours, is their coach.
Yeah, hang on. Mate, it's okay. Treasy, a good friend of yours, is their mid laner.
Yes, but he doesn't do the drafts. Mendrix does.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Treasy takes over. I don't know what happens in their comps.
What do you have a coach for then?
Can I take this back a step? Is Trundle worth a first pick on Emprox's side?
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Yeah, RP picking up Trundle when, like we said before, Nocturne's available, assuming it goes jungle, mind you.
Do you give over Xayah? Do you not see a threat from Xayah Rakan?
I fully expect them to take Lucian Braum like we saw in the previous game, which we know is still a strong duo lane. So, yes, they're giving it away, and I'm not a huge fan of it, but there's very clear plans on the side of Emprox, so you know, they understand what they're doing. It's not like they just, oh, whoops, we've got to take it.
Yeah.
They went in and said, hey, take the duo. We're going to take Lucian Braum and try and win the 2v2 by being aggressive.
But Lucian Braum, a big pick as well as the Camille gets locked in. So assuming that's a sleepy special that we're going to be seeing there. Starts a team fight heavy comp. Xayah Rakan every single time. Easy to execute, maybe. With Camille in the mix, I guess that's a different question. And we'll find out as, yes, the Lucian locked in for Emprox.
I would say easy to execute, definitely. Rakan is one of the best go buttons you can have from support.
I'm wondering what they fill out with the rest of their team, Tegan. I'm just being...
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, Zoe's still not banned. I assume Emprox will likely ban it. That makes a lot of sense.
They now have bans, which is nice.
Yeah, always pleasant.
Always pleasant to have a ban.
So, you know, what do they fill it out with? Do they go with, like Zoe, to really... Well, not anymore, but
bye, Zoe.
Maybe go LeBlanc. Another champion that can jump around, get picks on the back end, or initiate fights? Or do you shift away from that completely and go something like Ryze Cassio that is just machine gun damage?
I'm just surprised that Bomber's priority shifted to Camille rather than Zoe first. When Zoe at the moment is a pretty safe pick in the mid lane. And Treasy special, so you put up Camille.
If you want to read into it, that says that they have went into this game with a clear plan that they do not want to deviate from. And Zoe was never going to be
Which is nice, because then you get a free ban. Essentially, Emprox have lost 4 bans.
It's a real question where Emprox could have just skipped over the Zoe ban. There's real potential to say, hey, they didn't take Zoe first 3, right? They've taken these champions that they don't really play. They obviously have a very clear, defined plan that they're sticking to no matter what we do, or with very unlikely for them to change from it. Do we need to ban Zoe? Can we buy another ban? Because I don't think they were going to go Zoe mid.
Fair.
I think they're either going something that has a lot of consistent damage or something that we just won't be able to really guess.
Now we're going to see another Cassiopeia tonight. First one, Caden's got bullied around, and the response was Yasuo, but will Treasy be picking that up? Orianna.
That's honestly, Orianna's likely the safest blind pick mid right now.
Yeah.
She has so much control. She can farm from such a range. The buff in 8.13 is people are starting to figure out that you can bully a bit more with Orianna now. So it makes a lot of sense, and it goes well into almost anything. What could they pick into it?
Well, talk to me about this, because you backstage were saying that Galio has risen up in the charts.
Well, so he's not meta, right? He's not just going to be pick banned every game, but he's coming back.
Okay.
He's coming back into fruition, and I'm going to say it, that's mid. That is not going to be top. That's going to be mid. Your whole game plan here is to dive bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Get level 6. Camille goes in. Galio goes in.
And
you
Jarvan
lock
as well.
them in.
That is a wombo combo building up right there.
All right, so I have a little bit of inside info here. I scrimmed with Bombers this week, Bombers Academy.
How dare you?
I stepped in for a game when they needed me.
Okay.
And we played pretty much this exact comp. There was a little bit of difference. I played Karma instead of Rakan, but it was pretty much this comp where you go in and you fight. You have all these go buttons. You have 2 champions to get in nice and deep on the backline, Camille, Jarvan. Galio then layers on, and you just fight every second of the game.
So I guess they're reenacting that because Bomber's right there. That is easy. Like not to take any fault or hurt anyone, but what were we talking about with intuition? Easy to execute compositions.
Yep.
Galio Jarvan. I mean, Jarvan Cataclysm. Galio ults in. Camille's there with a Hextech ultimatum. And guess who's behind there? Zyra Khan. There are so many knockups that honestly, you get sent to Mount Everest before you die. So, Bomber's easy to execute. Will this triumph over Emprox, who last picked the Ornn, to kind of counter the momentum?
I was going to say, I love the Bombers Academy comp in terms of how easy it is to play out. You have all these really defined go-in buttons.
Yep.
Rakan, Camille, and Jarvan, all very obvious. Hey, we're fighting right now. Let's all get in there on the same page. On the side of Emprox, they have a lot of kiting champions. Orianna is great for just slowly peeling back over the course of a fight and drawing it out. Ornn is a lot of the same, where he has a lot of consistent CC and it's just a beefy guy that can sit in front of your team. Braum as well, another great champion in terms of just stalling out fights and protecting someone. So very clear ways for Emprox to win these fights, but it's almost certainly going to be reactive play from Emprox and proactive play from Bombers Academy.
But when you talk about reactive and proactive, I see the proactivity of Bombers is going to be onto Chaz. Chaz was the focus matchup, for me at least, against Treasy. But going into the Orianna, the one person who won't have the escape, you'll jump into Orianna. Yes, she may shockwave T-Gun, but by that time, is Orianna already dead? The one person who you can safely jump on and burst before anyone else gets there. Let's see if I'm talking baloney or if that's a genuine plan.
Well, there is real problems there in the mid lane for Orianna. Obviously, a lot of CC from the Galio, and Camille can get in easily as well.
Oh, yeah.
But like I said, this is a party in the bot lane.
Love parties.
This is throw everyone down in bot lane post level 6 and punish them for existing. So, yes, you are right, and Orianna can get punished in mid lane. But apart from pre-level 6, I don't see the focus being there. I don't even think Shockwave will come into factor there.
Do you want to talk about skins and Galio, or do you want to keep going?
No, I'm done talking about skins.
Chicken Galio or nothing, by the way? Like,
I think Swiper would have something to say about that.
What does he think?
He is the Armored Titan. He takes anything that looks like it has a lot of armor on it.
Oh, yeah? So that'd be like Colossal.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, okay. Well, did I introduce you to this game? No, it doesn't matter. Because you've been introduced properly. This is an important game. Now, if you have just tuned in with us, Emprox and Bombers both need this win. Both of them need this win. Thank you for my paper that I threw in the air. Emprox, if they take a loss here, this could be the defining game that keeps them outside the top 6 or pushes them further down, where teams like Avant Academy, Legacy Genesis are climbing up as well. Mammoth might overtake them. For Bombers, if they take a loss here, they will not make playoffs.
Yep. If they take a loss, they're out. So, obviously, we've been saying it all season. Every game is important. But now it's not just important, they're must-wins until the end for Bombers Academy.
They've had so many wins, though, T-Gun. So many wins, again, that we didn't think they'd get a win, like against Dire Cups. How did Bombers beat Dire Cups? It's a question. Same way Avant Academy did, I guess. So.
Well, you look at that and say, yes, they're winning games where we don't expect it.
Oh, Sprenstarmer, goodbye, Flash. Heal, will it save him? You're just lining him up for a piercing light. Young Cat waits and he can't get it. A heal burnt as well. Maybe overstaying from Emprox to get the kill.
Somehow that is close to an even trade when I thought Sprenstarmer was dead.
And there's still an Ignite on Iogus who has the engage.
Yeah, they have Ignite left on Bombers Academy, Flash left on the side of Emprox on Corporal. So much closer of a trade than expected. And now we see the strength of Lucian Braum. In the previous game, we saw the strength of Zyra Khan. We see why both of them are prioritized. And with Lucian Braum, you just need to be aggressive 24/7. Look for the stuns. Look to go in. And that's what they're doing.
That's right. But now with only Flash on Corporal and an Ignite on Iogus, look at the trade that's going to come through. Sleepy going to find that his red buff is missing for the time being. And it probably will just reset as Sleepy won't be able to get anything done. Why? Getting out of the jungle, but Chaz was able to push in, so why and Chaz now threatening this buff once again?
Not only is Chaz there, but they have priority in the bot lane as well. Young Cat and Corporal pushing up to the tower constantly, so this red buff, it's gone. Sleepy, he might hang around, might steal it, but apart from that, he was never getting it.
No, he couldn't get the timing anyway without vision, but Treasy's just like, just sitting there. Why was there missing pings on Tree? That's a bit toxic. There was missing pings, obviously, from Sleepy saying, Treasy, what the hell, man?
And maybe Treasy was missing pinging the Orianna. Okay. All right?
What, after the red buff's gone?
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
That's some solid.
I'm a nice guy.
Okay, well, you both are. Hang on, you're not a nice guy then. You just said people who said they're nice guys aren't nice guys. I get it. I get what you're teaching me now.
So, the thing is, right, let's say that was missing pings on Treasy.
Okay,
right.
We're talking about
what does Treasy do if he follows?
Gets nothing.
They do not win that 2v2. They get beaten up.
He's even losing the 1v1. Chaz able to bully him out. The perks of an Orianna this early in, I guess.
It's as simple as Sleepy, once the bot lane was pushed in, should have known he had to
now
fail.
the flash forward being utilised. Sprint Starmer not where he should be. First blood over to Mprox. And they just did not see that coming.
Sprint Starmer at least saves Iogus, lets him get out. So the first blood, obviously, really influential for Mprox. Going to make life difficult for Bombers Academy, but at least they save what they can. Now, the Rakan was quite far up, so she does get out, does survive. But we're going to see much of the opposite of what we saw in the first game.
Well, RP getting some favourable trades against Segoy, the new top laner for Mprox, and bringing in a substitution this late for whatever reason can sometimes be quite risky. So,
of course.
Interesting move by Mprox.
So I did speak to Mprox just before the game started about their new sub, about RP, and I've been told that he has wonderful communication and he is a resourceless player. As in, they don't go up there, they don't gank top lane, they don't do anything up there. They
that's
just
what Ornn does?
Leave him on his own, and so far, that's true. They aren't playing anything topside. Why is spend all his time bot? He's now going to be back down there.
Just bullied once more. No summoners apart from the Ignite, and although Iogus gets to Sprint Starmer in time, Why will not leave this lane alone anytime soon. You can see a Mountain Drake there as well. Limited vision by Bombers.
I fully expect them to just stay bot, and if Mprox do stay bot lane, especially with Y, who is just, he's not even farming at this point, the strategy of putting Galio and Camille down there, it ceases to exist.
And they know Sprint Summer doesn't have flash, so they flash forward. Winter's Bite will miss. So Bombers bottom lane safe for now. Y, he'll be back in 10 seconds.
Yeah, well, as long as they keep that wave frozen, Mprox have kept that wave towards their tower, Y can do that all day. Until Sleepy starts getting active, starts getting things done somewhere else on the map,
look at the CS,
there isn't a real detriment.
Look at the difference. Sprint Starmer is almost 20 CS
He's
behind.
still there.
Y is living here. What a monster. Sprint Starmer says, leave me alone. And Young Cat gets another one. Oh, Mprox, you heartless monsters.
Well, I was saying, Y can stay there as long as he wants because Sleepy isn't doing anything that he has to react to. Yes, he's going to deny a camp, but that is not enough. As simple as that, you need to be getting a kill, getting a summoner, putting pressure somewhere else, potentially in mid lane. We were saying, easy to execute there. Now on Ornn here, difficult champion to dive at the best of times.
And Sleepy's only level 4. RP might not have that much mana, but he can bring it in anyway. Galio jumping on in, and Bombers, great execution, it'll work out.
So instead of going bot, starting the party down in bot lane, they do it up into the top side. So they're aware of how they need to play. They need to just go in and fight people, but that will not work bot lane. They know that. Unless they're able to get a 4v2 off down in bot lane and have no reaction from Mprox, very likely Mprox can react and peel back and win that fight. So smart for them to do it topside. However, they need to redo it. They need to kill RP again and then take the tower, or else they're going to be stuck in this 2v2 down bot lane, which is going to get worse and worse from this point.
And Sleepy sacrificing levels as well, and why? Although he was camping bot for so long, he's still a level up. Still a couple of camps up as well. So topside, their wombo starting to come into fruition, and that's good to see, but Bombers need to do more, as you said, T-Gun. Right now, the top side of the map, pretty even, but what we're looking at is the bottom side, which is 1,200 ahead.
And Y is back.
7 minutes. Look at him. Control ward has not been removed.
It can't be removed. There's no way Sprint Starmer and Iogus can generate enough pressure on their own to take that down. They need Sleepy to be there to do it. And if history is to be remembered, Y is generally just going to be there anyway, so it'll be a 3v3 and you don't win those.
Of course. And look, more pressure. Corporal is like, no, that control ward's ours as well. Iogus doesn't have a control ward to reciprocate. Scuttle, Mountain Drake. This is the play. This is actually might be contested, Tiga.
Oh, I don't see Bombers winning it. They don't have the Galio ult.
He has a kill. He has Catalyst. They can't get over the wall.
No Galio ult. That's their real going to be the deciding factor for almost all of Bombers' objective control is, do we have Galio ult? No, we can't fight. We just conceded.
Even Chaz walks down, so it is going to be a Mountain Drake, and Sleepy, don't do it. He's going to do it anyway. Goes over the wall.
He gets it.
The steal. Sleepy probably won't get out here, so the trade of his life for a Mountain Drake. But meanwhile, top line, upbeat. Almost makes Sugoi flash, so a trade is a trade. Is it worth it?
I would say even though you got the Mountain Drake, I don't love the trade.
Why not, Tegan? Oh.
You getting the kill to Young Cat. Emprox are already starting to snowball that bot lane. Even if the kill goes to anyone else, aside from Chaz, that is going to impact your bot lane again, and Mountain Drake does not help you in the 2v2. It does not help you in the laning phase. It helps you take objectives which are not going to matter for Bombers for quite some time.
Culling used. Now Bombers. You can see their jungler down bot side as well, but Sleepy, he's going to be found out before he can get anywhere. Look at the vision control that's been set up by Y. There is a ward in so many brushes in that red side jungle, and White is able to roam the jungle freely. He has so much information on the board. Control right now from Bombers lacking, but naturally see how the game's going.
Galio ultimate almost back up, so we'll likely see another play come out from that Galio. Yep. I would hazard a guess it'll be topside again. It might be bot. It looks like they're gearing up for it, but like I said before, that's a real sketchy place to go in. You know, the Lucian is so strong. They're great at peeling back. The only champion I could think of that would be better in this situation is Tahm Kench. So it's always going to be scary to dive, and Y has shown he's willing to sit down there in bot side and concede things just to make sure they are able to keep pressure out there and to keep them safe.
Another good ward placed there by Emprox. They'll see Sugoi coming. He walks through the control ward, and he's not even going to clear it.
Oh, no.
I swear he walked through it and saw it.
Even if he didn't, that's his job. When you roam down there, you check the pixel brush.
If you see them moving back, you're like, oh, obviously it's watered somewhere.
Oh.
So, all right, Tigo, Mr. Top Laner. No, that's fair. That's fair.
There's no excuse for not clearing those wards. As a support, whenever you're in game, you hate seeing those wards because
hate to see it.
It limits your roams as well.
Yeah.
Like if the bot side pixel bush is warded, then you walk up mid and you've wasted your time, and the jungler could have checked that. The mid laner could have checked that.
That's true. So Vision's still not lacking. Something that Emprox haven't really struggled at in the past weeks. Y coming back down to the bottom side, but you can see Sleepy now level 6.
They're going for this. This is deliberate for Bombers here.
Y baits it in. This is finally a move. Bombers get Y caught out in the bottom lane. They don't get the kill, but a response well needed.
Very, very smart there. They blow him up before Young Cat and Corporal can matter. Make sure he dies. Galio hovering down meant that Emprox didn't want to commit. They were okay with just taking the bullet, making sure it was just Y that died and bailing out. And now the bot side, they have control.
For the first time in years.
Well, I would have said in 11 minutes.
In the first time in this game. Yeah?
Yeah, sure. But they won't keep that control. It's just a short reprieve. They need to use this,
like get out Disneyland.
Get out whatever they can, get out some wards in unconventional places that won't get removed, and then go back to playing passive.
Well, finally a response. You can see Hextech Ultimatum was actually used there by Sleepy, but Culling as a response. Young Cat can do this. Flashes forward. Will not get the piercing light as Sleepy responds. And Emprox want to make a move. They're going to.
Y is back again. Galio, though.
They have nothing.
Look at Galio. He's almost there.
But he can't get there in time, so everyone backs away. Y. Good information again as Chaz pings it away. Young Cat was 1v3.
I would give credit to Corporal as well.
All right.
As a support player myself, I have to shout them out.
Yeah, I play jungle now, so I don't care about you guys.
You got to put some respect on his name.
Okay.
But we were saying it before, Lucian Brawl, difficult to gank, to dive, and you see it there, 2v3 very happily. Almost got the kill.
Almost got first star of blood.
They will get it here, most likely, unless they don't want it, unless they want to stay in.
There's a TP. Here comes Sugoi. Galio's here as well. Treasy wants to collapse. For first star of blood, will Emprox lose their lives? Y wants to collapse with the rest of the team, but for Bombers, this is a winnable fight. Corporal and Young Cat are fleeing from the scene, but they've found him. The concussive blows will matter not as Young Cat, Sprint Starmer gets the shutdown goal, and Bombers turning this around, but the shockwave from Chaz makes the trade. A slow entrance from Treasy, teleport cancelled. And what a big fight to be, but it was only a 1-for-1.
That's a huge blunder from Bombers Academy. I want to be positive here and say, good collapse from Emprox, way to peel back.
He got a shutdown, Tiga. What more do you want?
I want them to not trade first turret for a 1-for-1.
Okay.
I want them, when they're being proactive, they're committing so much. Teleport from their top laner, also conceding topside as well. Galio ultimate. You brought all of your resources down to bot lane. You need a return on that. That is a huge investment.
Yep. So Bombers, once again, falling behind. The proactivity kind of shifting a little bit there, but still a massive lead for Mprox. Another turret goes down on the top side. You saw Uppy there hammering away at it, but a 4K gold lead, 13 minutes in the game. Next Dragon, 40 seconds away. And first item is getting picked up. Chaz, Luden's Echo, Blade of the Ruin King for the Lucian, and Sunfire Cape just picked up now by RP. Top side of the map, Segoy, you have a Titanic to respond, but he's the only one apart from Sleepy with this first item.
As bad as that is, that they're all down that big one-item power spike, Bombers Academy can still win the fight. If everything goes well, they get the Galio ultimate on the target from Mprox, they will start winning fights. They have the comp to do that. So even though they have fallen down quite significantly, it isn't the nail in the coffin. They can turn these fights.
Treasy gonna try and get the taunt. They've found RP. He'll be charmed up by Ogus is low. Here comes the Ornhorn once again, rooted up. The Wombo combo starting up, but remember, no heroic entrance to Segoy. It all comes for naught. A 4-man cataclysm. The Wombo gets its knock up, but the culling is shredding everyone. A triple kill for Segoy, but Young Cat lives, and baby, when Lucian lives and when Orn doesn't die, that's when Mprox win the fight.
It looked so good for Bombers Academy until Young Cat joined the fight. It was a 5v4 for the longest time, and then Young Cat walks on in, cleans it up for Mprox. They'll get the Rift Herald, the mid tower as well. And I was saying Bombers Academy win fights, and they do, mind you, but they didn't have the Galio ultimate.
They didn't get Young Cat.
It is such an important piece of the puzzle for Bombers Academy to make sure they have everything available. And you're right, they didn't get Young Cat. They came on to Chaz initially. Blew him up, sure. Made sure that they did lose one of their carries, but he is not the fed carry.
But also, they may win fights, but with that one item discrepancy, even if you're so close with components, T-Gun, the fact that you had a Blade of the Ruin King, Luden's Echo, Sunfire Cape, that's the difference between maybe RP going down early, or maybe Young Cat not being able to dish out as much damage. So,
oh, without a doubt.
The time to fight was right. And now for Bombers, still that discrepancy goes to a 5K disadvantage. Can they still win fights? Yes and no.
As long as they get onto Young Cat first.
2.6K gold difference between Young Cat and Sprenstarmer. Now there's your problem. It's like a plumber walking into a house and going, you know what, there's a leaking tap there. And the owner's like, what's the problem here? Why is my house flooding? You're like, there's your problem. It's pretty obvious. It's that. So how do you deal with that problem? Well, you don't have plumber's tape, but you do have an alternative solution as Dragon goes down the bottom side of the map and Mprox get their mountain. Sugoi gets another building.
I'm sorry, I was trying to follow your train of thought, and that was...
I brought it back to the game.
You tried. You tried to.
I took it where it needed to be. Corporal now, as Call of the Forge God will get Treasy on his escape. They just layer down the CC, and Treasy, remember that RP and Corporal don't have that much damage, but the rest of Mprox are coming in, and Treasy, it will eventually be a pick. Culling, bit of an overkill, I dare say, but here comes Rift Herald.
It doesn't matter if you overkill there, as long as you kill the Galio. Bombers Academy, now they can no longer fight. Yes, they have a great flank here from Sugoi and Sleepy, but it doesn't matter. You are down a key member of your team. You cannot take this. You have to try and defend as best you can. Sleepy might have been caught out.
Shockwave's there as well. Goodbye, says Chaz. Oh dear. Another turret. Rift Herald may be deceased, but Mprox just collapsed on the bottom lane turret.
It's as simple as once you have one person that's made a mistake, Treasy getting caught, you just have to accept it and move on. Don't just keep committing to it, which you saw Sleepy and Sugoi doing. They set up to try and make a catch, try and come down, get this great collapse out and fight. And you needed to just cop the loss and back off.
They do. They need to pull themselves together. Bombers, with this gold disadvantage, will not do. This is their final game to make playoffs. They need wins from here on. If they lose this game, Mprox will take away playoff streams. And it's only week 11. They've got 2 more weeks to go. But Mprox can do it right here. They're in a firm advantage. The only person on Bombers that is anywhere near big is Sugoi.
I tell you what, Bombers Academy, they have not made it easy for themselves. That being said, you say Sugoi is the only member that's getting farmed up, that's getting fed. And that's all they need is one person that can get on the backline.
Big Cataclysm.
Initiate the fight. Get the Jarvan on the backline, link the Galio in, link the Camille in, and you can still win.
Sugoi trying to bait away the support in jungle, but now the re-engage. Sleepy has found the Hex Deck ultimatum. Chaz will shockwave on the spot, but the layering of CC flashed away by Chaz. They can't get him. The re-engage on the backside. Here comes Call of the Forge God, and up he gets 2. That's all they need. Culling from Young Cat, and Mprox are collapsing on them. The Wombo no more, and look at Young Cat go. Look at them run away. Bombers are going to take a triple and give Young Cat what he deserves. 7-1-5. Mprox clean it up again.
Once again, they go on someone that isn't Young Cat. They didn't even get the kill on Chaz this time. But even if they did, you saw just how strong Young Cat is coming in at the end of that fight. There's no more CC. There's no more control from Bombers Academy. They've expended all of it. And he's able to clean up without even any help from Corporal.
This is the inhibitor. That's the inhibitor turret gone. A defense unlikely here from Bombers. They're probably going to let this one go. That for Mprox. It's starting to be the nails in the coffin. I don't know how he died, but that was a big chase.
He got chased down by Y.
I think he teleported.
He teleported and died right at the end of it.
It's a shame we don't have replays because I feel like he teleported from Raptors or something.
He was
a small Raptor
just above Raptors.
Or Subjugate killed him. Who knows?
He was just above Raptors, trying to teleport to get out. Dies at the very end. Gets chased down, and now inhibitor's down. You're down 10k gold. There's still a way for them to win, though.
There is. That's
Get onto Young Cat. Don't engage onto Chaz. As much as it's scary to leave the Orianna alive, let her have control of the fight. Put her ball, get the shockwave down. All of these things are so scary, but they aren't what's winning the fight for Mprox. It's all been Young Cat coming in, cleaning everyone up as soon as all of the CC is gone.
So where do we look then? Because Mprox, so many power spikes onto their third item in pretty much every lane.
Well, it's simple.
2 Ziggs convergences as well.
You look at the Lucian. You make sure that you are engaging on him and only him. You may not win the fight doing that if Orianna comes up huge, gets a big shockwave. But if you go on the Orianna, you automatically lose the fight.
Sugoi's got 2 items now, the Black Cleaver. So 2-item Jarvan. This is his moment. But if he dies at the start of the fight, then Mprox cleaning process should not be that hard. And Uppy getting tankier and tankier. Now Baron live. Dragon coming up shortly, and look at the top side. Teleport on both of these top laners. Treasy doesn't have one to respond. Heroic entrance coming back up shortly.
You say if Sugoi dies. But if there is a point where Sugoi is going to die in a fight, the fight should be over. It is very likely he'll be in early like we see right now.
Pick, teleport being channeled. That's our pick. Teleport hasn't been channeled. Sugoi's just walking up. Baron, a very real threat.
Yeah. Because Sugoi reacted so quickly and they were teleporting to blue,
they do this so quick.
You don't have to teleport to Baron, but you need to keep going there.
Need to force the engage. Baron being pulled off. Mprox now want to start the fight. Call the
Look at where Sugoi is.
Corporal, Young Cat all the way in the back. Sugoi wants the flank, but already a pick. They need to go in now. Treasy doesn't get anything, but the shockwave cleans it all up. And guess who's still alive? Young Cat maybe jumped on, but everyone is doing everything they need. Every damn thing is coming to an end. And Bombers with their last person alive, they're going to struggle to defend the base.
This is something that has been said by Magnus Carlsen. I'm sure Mprox is saying it right now. Too weak and too slow from Bombers Academy.
Well,
they tried to fight. They did not get there fast enough. They weren't decisive enough. And because Mprox made the proactive play with the Ornn, they win the fight and will win the game.
And just like that, Bombers have been knocked out of playoff dreams. Mprox putting the nails into the coffin. One last fight from Bombers. They'll come close. At least Galio gets one. Hang on. We're not over yet, baby. Treasy trying to keep it alive. Young Cat still survives, however, and Uppy's low. A double kill for Young Cat. And although they're quite low and can't end the game, Bombers still can't get the final kills. Wise soloing out. And Sugoi will get the shutdown. So hang on, Tegan. It's not over yet.
Great win for Bombers Academy there, getting the fight. But I'm blaming Mprox for that one.
Okay.
If they just spread up and hit the Nexus, they can take it down.
Back to the
Instead,
TV.
They do the greedy thing, look for the kills. The game is still going.
Oh,
and
better buckle in.
They've opened themselves up to a potential loss here. All right. Obviously, it's not likely. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a pretty damn steep hill to climb for Bombers Academy.
Oh yeah, you got a lot of defensive maneuvers.
But this is charity here, and they need to find something very quickly.
Well,
they can't sit back and let Mprox siege again.
Baron, very real threat, and if Baron gets picked up, then that siege is going to become so much harder to deal with. Or you can just walk in and do that. I guess that works as well.
Well, for Mprox, you want Corporal to be the one that gets initiated on. You're happy for him to go face check everything.
Yeah.
If they go on Corporal, you're leaving Chaz and Youngcat alive to do whatever they want. That's fine. You win that fight every day of the week.
I mean, should Iagos be here? Call the Forge God gets the straight line, the Shockwave. They've just deleted Sprint Starmer and Bombers so far out of their base without any protection for the Nexus. And just because of that, now I can say it. Now I can tell you exactly what Mprox have done.
The inhibitor's respawning. The inhibitor's going to block them from killing the Nexus, I think.
Well, hang on. A flash away. Inhibitor's going to be there, and there it is. So now the re-engage from Bombers. But they're just way too big. It was a valiant attempt. It was a different composition that Bombers have tried in the past.
End the game, Mprox. Stop the suffering.
Stop. I've done my narrative work 3 times already. I'll make it a 4th. Goodbye, Bombers, and hello, Mprox. A 7-point lead is exactly what they want to make playoffs. It is not a safety net, but it is a great start here for Week 11. And Bombers, they'll be knocked out while Mprox soar ahead.
Look, normally I say you've earned the right to farm people at the end of games.
Not that time.
Yeah, Youngcat, stop it. Just hit the Nexus. You've went too far.
I outroed like 4 times there, just for the highlight reel.
I will.
Damn.
I gotta give it to Mprox. That was a clean game.
Yeah.
That was a difficult game to be clean in. At Bombers Academy, they had such a simple comp that would just fight aggressively, constantly.
Does it come down to target selection at the end of all that, though? Is it purely target selection that changed those fights?
Yes and no. Obviously, down in bot lane, when Mprox gets so far ahead so early, it makes it very difficult for Bombers Academy. So, yeah, the target selection could have been better, but they also could have not been down 3,000 gold when the fight started.
I guess that makes sense as well. But for Bombers, I mean, it was a large last-ditch effort, but I don't think it was... I don't think it was as clean as we've seen from the Bombers in the past. So it's a little bit unfortunate, but 3 and 8 now means they are not eligible to get up to that 6 points, to get to close towards the safety net. For Mprox, 7 is great. For them, that's where they want to be. They're now up with the Dire Cubs. They're now up with potential top 4, at least making top 6, maybe. We'll have to see next week.
Yeah, it's not guaranteed, but it's a damn good start for them. One more win would, I'd say, pretty safe, pretty
good end, probably. Yeah.
So good on Mprox making their run. But for Bombers Academy, it's all what could have been, and all it was today was not enough.
No, but we have more games where 1 win counts. It's Mammoth and QT coming up next in the OCS week number 11. Welcome back to the OCS for our Game 3 now. This one, just like the last one, is a bit of a doozy, T-Gun. Explain why.
Well, Mammoth Academy 6-4, just like Mprox were, and QUT 5-5, nipping at their heels.
Damn, that's not too bad. 5-5. If QUT lose this, then we're going maybe. Because 7 is not really a safety net. 7 points is potential. Like, we could make it.
I'm already like that with QUT. They have been dismal for quite a while now.
Ooh.
They got hit really hard by the meta shift.
They did.
They are a team that were built on having great communication, great understanding of the meta. You know, they weren't individually going to come out and wow you on their own, but as a unit, they were just incredible.
Because remember when we were in that 20-minute meta where games were over like 20, 25 minutes. It wasn't even Bruise. It wasn't Mage meta. It was like accelerate the game. And QT loved that. They played Olaf. Like Flick was a god. They said 20-minute Baron. Let's do Dan Gaming from, you know, LPL. That's what it was.
Oh,
but
well,
now that changed.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that the swing, now 8-14, ADCs are good again. You sort of see standard lanes, for the lack of a better term.
Still mage bot lanes are still existing.
They do exist, but not tonight so far.
But we don't see gold funneling.
So they might swing back to QUT. And if it does, that is huge for them. We start seeing them be the team that they were in the first few weeks, the formidable opponent. The one that we thought were almost a lock for top 6, which have seemed like just shades of their former selves.
Well, let's have a look at those rosters because QUT, they'll be relying on everyone here tonight to get that crucial win. But you're in front of Mammoth Academy who love this meta, even if it's stabilized a little bit. It's still juicy. They don't need to gold funnel. Yellow will pick out Rammus, and O will play Kled mid.
For me, for Mammoth Academy, this is their match to lose, and as long as they work on the mistakes they were making both last week and previously, just the small things, people overextending on their own, staying when they clearly shouldn't, and fighting over everything, then they have every sort of ability to win this game, whereas on QT, they need to show that they can bring it back to this old meta. The ADC down bot lane, just this strong, stable team comp
Nami's
built together.
Kind of working its way back into 1%. For Sonic he's been the Fiddlesticks player as well. He's been the only person in OCS, as I know, who has played Fiddlesticks. Yeah, Fiddlesticks.
I'd have to check. I would hazard a guess Fiddle's been played by more than
Fiddle
him.
3 times in a mirror and Fiddle appears. It's like Bloody Mary, you know. Anyway, moving on. Obviously, you did have a childhood or did watch Supernatural, which is a great show.
I'm older than you.
Let's put this in perspective though, right? Mammoth Academy, they had a pretty poor start to the split.
Yep.
Mammoth Academy have regained themselves. QUT had a great start to the split. QUT have floppity-doppitied at the end.
I would have said slumped, but hey, we'll go with whatever that was.
Look, and, you know,
I'm not even sure those were words.
No, I think they were.
It was sounds.
Now, is it a rebalancing act? I don't know. QUT have just been all out of sorts. You said it once. I've said it once. I'll say it again. Is 8.14 a big enough of a change? No gold funneling. I'll start with that.
Yep.
But Mage bot lane still exist. Bruiser bot lane still exist. No, Bruiser bot lane's actually flopped out a while ago.
They're gone.
Bruiser's mid. So anything that's not standard or can't be read, that's the word, read by QUT, then there's an issue.
Yes, there's issue, and you say mages still exist bot. They do, but they're not that great. You know, you see Zarya so highly contested because of the buff to Storm Razor. Now she's just an easy pick, plays well into anything. Same thing with Lucian coming back into fruition. Sure, he doesn't build it. He builds things like Blade of the Ruin King, Black Cleaver, stuff like that, but he's still quite strong. So, and with the teleport nerfs, they're just nowhere near as pickable, as enticing.
But
as
isn't
they were
predictability
before.
great for QUT then? Then they know what they can work into, because QUT, they're quite strategized. But when there's chaos, you're like, what are we strategizing against?
Yeah, well, I mean, for sure. Anytime that it goes back to that old style where you know what's happening, know where everything's going, it's going to benefit QUT.
Yeah.
That being said, even with the meta shift, QUT, they've looked like they're slumping. It's as simple as that. They've just strung together losses in the OCS. They weren't successful in the UD championships. So they need to...
Got bumped out in the semi-finals. I was a bit surprised as well.
They need to get back into this mentally. It's just like they need to completely reset somehow. Just say, yep, we've had a tough road, but we need to restart from scratch and take the game as basically an isolated game. Don't think about it and think about it as we need to win this because of playoff standings.
Because they do. They definitely do.
Oh, for sure. But you can't go in with that pressure.
Well,
because QUT, they've been struggling so much. They need to just make it as simple as possible.
They're not going to be knocked out by this game. That's what I can confirm. But this is a must-win If Mammoth Academy loses, they'll be neck and neck, and QT will have the head-to-head over Mammoth. So this game, like all of our games tonight, are very important. Kled ban first off against OWO.
I love that Kled ban.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, I'm going to take the hit. I said last week I didn't think that was an OWO pick. And he performed really well on it. Played it perfectly. So, respect ban given there, deservedly so.
You're right, T-Gun. Predicting me something. Easy to execute comps have been tonight's go-to. QT, I feel like that suits them so nicely. But blue side tonight, always initiating the Rakan first pick. Brom banned away, which means QT Tiger, Sunakul might be going towards something like a Rakan or a Fiddle.
I would say you're trying to bait out the Rakan first pick and answer it with Morgana. If you want to bait something out, bait out Rakan, answer it with Morgana Nocturne, Morgana Orianna,
No, but Rakan
and you're
banned.
very happy. Rakan banned.
That's
so,
called the counter play.
well, now you think of other things that rise in
Thank
priority.
you, cameraman. Thank you.
Morgana goes up to probably the top support pick. Then you have Shen, Tahm Kench, Pyke, Fiddlesticks all there as well.
Yeah, like losing Kindred though.
I'm a huge Pyke fan,
Yeah.
by the way.
All right.
A lot
I
of
knew it
people
was
love
coming.
Fiddle.
I
but
knew it was coming around here. I'm like, let's talk about Kindred. So
I'm a Pyke guy.
Why Pyke?
No. Kindred's banned. Who cares?
That's what I said, T-Gun.
yeah, who cares?
I want to... All right, why is
It was
Pyke
banned
so
the past
good?
2 games.
I don't care. Why is Pyke good?
Why is Pyke good? He has a hook.
Oh, no way. A champion with a hook. You like a champion with a hook.
So I think he's actually extremely good right now. His healing is just better than Tahm Kench's,
Blitzcrank's
which is
better.
insane.
Yeah.
His engage with his stun is very reliable, and his ultimate, of course, is quite helpful for the team. So I'm a huge fan of him. I want to see him picked more up, and I think he's going to start rising in popularity as well.
Yeah, but at the moment he's not first pick priority, so we've got to look realistically at what Mammoth Academy want to do.
This priority here is a bit strange to me.
I mean, OCS has its own priority.
Yeah, it does, but you have Nocturne, Morgana, Mundo, Darius, all these really strong champions just
Udyr,
being
yeah.
left. So Jake's been playing Udyr, so he thinks it's the
All right,
greatest
let
thing
me
ever.
tell you one thing. If you do not have Spirit Guard Udyr, then the champion's not good. I've been losing some games with Udyr, and I think you need Spirit Guard Udyr to get the 100% win rate.
Yeah, that's.
I've never seen
wrong.
someone play Udyr with Spirit Guard Udyr who's lost a game.
you think he has 100%? No, we're getting off this. No, no, I'm not getting into this.
Well, okay.
Morgana, the
I got
answer
into
from Mammoth
Pyke.
Academy. Yeah, that's completely different. And Varus hovered here. You still have Zarya open, and even without Rakan, Zarya is quite good, so that would be the likely answer here from QUT. The Karma question there is, does that go support?
I mean, there's been changes at the Soul Flare range, of course, upgraded a little bit more damage in 8.14, so you understand why, but still, it's the shielding that was nerfed. It's the shielding of Karma that was why she was played. Is it going to be mid? Is it going to be priority in mid?
It's such a strange thing to me because I don't think it's actually that big of a buff. I think it was a very minuscule buff.
Yep.
The widening of the splash on her Q is basically nothing. If you were going to hit it before, you probably still hit it now.
Is it like the thing where you get out the tape measure and you're like, what?
No, it's such a minuscule change that I'm not sure if she should actually be seeing more play. And still, with the healing shielding changes, you can't rely on her Mantra shield by mid and late game to be very impactful. So.
Well, if it's Sanakul's playstyle, though, you got to imagine
It
he
does,
plays
it
mage
does.
support. So instead of taking something like Nami, it's still a flex, but you'd have to imagine that goes to the bot side.
Yep.
But against the Morgana Virus, we then question a little bit how it's going to go against Drakon and K-pop. Have had pretty successful learning phases so far.
All right, so off the bot lane, now top and mid are the huge priority here.
Yeah, go.
I would say you're going to see 4 top bands and then an Orianna blind.
Oh,
Orianna
okay.
is the safest blind pick. It's as simple as that. So unless she gets banned out, probably going to be seen very, very quickly. The bans, so I would say everything goes top here. Darius, very strong pick. Ornn, great pick as well.
Do you
You're
get
gonna
out
see
something like
Mundo.
Riven, which is such a niche?
I would
Can
say
be
if you're
flex jungle.
going to see it, QT are the ones that ban it.
Carbon. Yeah.
QT, get rid of it. ZZ has shown he's good on it. He's shown he's good on Riven and Jax as well.
Yeah.
So tough ask to sort of figure out, hey, which is the better of the two for us to ban? They choose Jax.
I think that's the first time we've actually seen a respect ban, even if it's in the second phase and you are targeting top champions. I think it's the first time we've seen ZZZ banned out from Jax.
I mean, yeah,
Argue
I would
with
have
me.
to agree with you.
At me.
I'm not a stats guy. I don't have the stats with
You
me. so I
should
can't-
be. That's what colors do.
Yeah, but I don't have the stats with me right now.
All right, well, I do. Anyway,
But yeah, the Jax ban, it's so important. he tore up the OPL with it. So obviously he needs that respect shown to him. Galio now being hovered. We saw it last game. Very strong champion, but it is so important to get great ultimates out of it, much like Nocturne.
Very different comp here, though, Tig.
Yeah. It's still very, very good in the mid lane, and much like Orianna, doesn't have a lot of losing matchups.
On that note, Jarvan's been played both games tonight. Jarvan is also a Paradise, a.k.a. ZZZ Special. Yeah?
Is it blind-worthy?
Is
That is the
Owo
question.
a better assassin?
Yeah. I think
Yes!
I think you assume the Galio's mid.
Oh my god, I've been waiting years!
All right, so...
Is he as good as Faker? No. But...
yeah, that's the measuring stick. Oh my gosh.
Mammoth are crazy.
Nah, while they hover it, talk about the Zed.
Sure.
I am not a huge fan of picking the Zed into a Galio. Anyone that uses Zed ulti is getting that Galio ultimate.
Close enough.
So, much like picking Zed into Tahm Kench, it's going to be completely neutered. That being said, Owo's played it before, and he's quite good at it.
Yeah.
As far as assassins go, yes, you're going to be sort of stalled out by the Galio. However, if he gets ahead, and by how he's been playing, they will place resources there for him.
Okay.
He can be a huge nuisance, and the Galio ultimate cooldown is much longer.
But it also confirms where that Karma is going to go as Malphite the final lock-in. If you're going up against an Aurelia, why not?
That's a...
Why not?
That's a pick.
I mean, it's like Tekka was like, oh, I'm going up against the Jax. Oh, hang on. Wait, it's Aurelia.
What I'm worried about here is Trundle has 2 great ultimate targets.
Yeah?
Galio and Malphite, you're happy to ultimate
true.
both of them. You neuter them quite completely with their tankiness and gain a lot of stats yourself. So
But Owo has some great targets. I mean, as well, like there's Feint and Flick.
he has great targets, but they are going to get the Galio ult. At the very least, they will have peel from either the Malphite or the Karma themselves. So yes, he has great targets. However, there's a lot of counterplay on the side of QUT where they can defend that pressure.
I'm just so excited we're finally seeing a Zed. Zed has been so priority, and I think solo queue at the moment, Zed is like the most picked mid champion.
Zed's always picked in solo queue.
No,
you can't
but
just go off that.
even now, Zed has just found his way back in. As we will start with a pause because obviously Zed was a mispick. No, I'm just kidding. Then we will find out and we'll get into things like
it's so difficult for me to talk about this Zed and be hyped about it because of the counterplay potential. Because every ultimate he has will be blocked by a Galio ultimate or potentially a Malphite ultimate straight away. There is so many tools at QT's disposal. So he has to be very careful with who he ults and when he ults, or he is going to get blown up, much like you can never ult when a Malzahar is around.
But at least
it's
in the laning phase. In the laning phase, Owo shouldn't have trouble. Magic Resist, naturally built by Galio, is going to do nothing for Zed, especially when he gets Yomu's or Duskblade. If he's elevated in this laning phase, Zed's going to go on a rampage. Heroic entrance or no heroic entrance. Galio can't go anywhere if he's dead.
Yeah, but then he's probably used that ultimate mid lane. So we won't see him roam as aggressively.
Yeah.
It's just, if he gets ahead in lane, which we have seen him do time and time again, then yes, he can be a huge nuisance to anyone, even through the Galio ultimate, even through whatever peel that QUT have. They have a lot of it. They've picked Ezreal, a great mobile champion on his own, and a champion we weren't expecting to see much play.
That's right.
Because of the changes. So there's a lot of counterplay from QUT. So it's for me, yes, Zed's a cool pick. I'm happy we see it. I think it really suits Owo's playstyle, but is this the time for it?
Maybe. Maybe Zed is just going to pop off. Maybe Zed's going to do absolutely nothing. And Mammoth, if they lose this game, they're even. They are absolutely even with QUT. And QUT start making the dream run all over again. 6 and 5 is enough to tie it up. And the head-to-head over Mammoth is huge. Especially a team that we're expecting to place 5th or 6th in top 6.
Yeah, but we can't say that they're going to lose if Zed doesn't.
No, but you know what I mean.
They have a rally.
You know what I mean. T-Gun, stop walking me into it. You know exactly what I mean.
Yeah, obviously that it's all about playoff implications.
If it's so obvious, why don't you say it?
Because it's funnier for me to take it out of you.
Fantastic. Yeah, great. Obviously, OCS is all about shenanigans. No, it's not. It's about the bloody stars of tomorrow.
You're the one that said we'd be in Japan this week.
I didn't know, T-Gun. I thought we had the budget. Benji was doing it. No, with Ben, folks, if you haven't seen this already, on OPL, Benji obviously gets more budget, which I'm a little bit annoyed about. But Benji gets to hand off to himself, and we just hand off to graphics. Not that the graphics aren't beautiful, but Benji
like you're treading a fine line here.
Yeah, but I'm not going over it. I'm definitely not going over it.
You might be.
No, the graphics are beautiful, but we just want more budget for our OCS recap.
Don't say we.
Oh, I want more budget.
I am an independent person here.
I am an independent. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting my job back after this week. Anyway, while I am on here, and I'm not going to do anything to make it even worse. But let me just say one thing: if QUT win this game, T-Gun,
yep,
then it is going to be denying the mid lane. If the Z doesn't get ahead...
Yes. I see where you're going is, stall out the Z, make sure he's
Why did that take 3 minutes and my job to convince you about mid lane?
I'm not convinced that it's going to be stalling out the game for them because they have Aurelia, another huge snowbally champion.
Okay, all right,
and she isn't stopped by a simple Galio ultimate.
Thank you very much.
She will be all over fights if she gets ahead. She has Morgana Black Shield to ensure that she does whatever she wants. So, yes, the Z can be bullied. Yes, you can stop him from snowballing. Make sure he isn't a huge threat for all of your squishy carries. But you still have threats in other lanes. And we've seen Mammoth Academy, they're aggressive all over the place.
Is there enough damage there, though? Tech is going to go full tank. Unspecialized, of course, Galio builds tank through. He's going to have a lot of AP. Is there enough damage when you consider that on the side of Mammoth Academy, all 5 members are going to be dishing it out?
As long as you build the Graves damage and the Ezreal is dishing out the poke damage before fights engage, then yeah, there's just enough to get over to make sure you can drop the important people out of Mammoth Academy.
Yeah.
As long as you can neuter whoever is the strongest person, be it Aurelia, Zed, Varus, whoever it is, you just have to have great target prioritization to make sure you make up for that lack of damage.
Come back to Malphite in the top lane for me. How does that matchup work? Because Tech is very passive against the Jax. I know that sucks. But against Aurelia?
To me, it's probably going to be much of the same. You just play to be safe, be passive, and then the second you hit level 6, you call your jungler up there and commit.
I know old Aurelia was okay with it. Hit 10 style, man. True damage. Dude, Malphite not like that.
So, yeah, of course, when Malphite builds the armor, he's going to be a bit safer, but it's much of the same where it's going to be dictated by the Aurelia. He has taken Corrupt and Poaching on the side of Tekker as well as the Aurelia, so he might want to get aggressive, try and make that level 3, level 4 play with the jungle and get the snowball starting up there on the side of QUT.
It's not much of the same. The picks in this game, the teams in this game, because we're in game 3. And we're into Mammoth versus QUT, where one slip-up... Yes! Oh, it's a chicken skin. Hungry Jack's chicken. There you go.
I am not a fan of this skin.
Look, he's got pink chicken.
It looks ridiculous.
Pink Jack. There we go.
This is ridiculous.
I wish I met Jack. But anyway, unspecialized. Good skin choice.
No.
It's not ridiculous.
Questionable.
He's got an apron on.
How is that?
A chicken's got an apron on himself so that if something happens, he's not going to damage the... No salmonella here. Oh, sorry, guys. If anyone understands that, I apologize.
Unbelievable.
Obviously, I like to dabble in a bit of cooking, T-Gun, so you know me. Oh, that's not good. Starter kill found OO. They've just walked mid lane.
I love this play.
What is happening?
Even if you don't get a summoner, which they unfortunately do not, he missed the mantra Q.
Yep.
You get in the head of your opponent. And that's what he's done. He gets a little bit of damage there, makes laning just a little bit easier over there for unspecialized. And you show you're very happy to go expend your resources elsewhere, especially when you have an Ezreal bot lane. You are more than happy to do that. Ezreal, one of the safest farmers in the game in terms of bot lane. So look to see more of the same from Sanakul, especially once we get to the point where we have tier on the Ezreal.
Well, Varus hasn't been seen tonight, but still seems to be popularity. Feint hasn't taken teleport, though. So we're not going to see an early back to get the tier, or maybe we will, but sacrificing a lot more.
It's so difficult to justify teleport on ADCs now.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's only a minute is what people will say, but that is a huge thing. Yele looking up top here for Tekker.
Early gank. The Malphite has no escape with the stun up. ZZZ's going to get the damage down, but Yele slowing him as well. A flash burn, but they're going to commit Great Pillar and First Blood over to the jungler of Mammoth Academy.
Great stun there by ZZZ to initiate all of that. If he misses that stun, Malphite survives. Gets it down early. Yele makes sure he doesn't show himself until the stun has hit. First Blood up in the top side. That's something we've seen time and time again from Mammoth Academy, is Yele is willing to sacrifice small things himself, concede a little bit of his tempo to ensure his top laner, ZZ, gets ahead.
And ZZ has been crucial for Mammoth Academy, the star member in both when Regicide, the team they were on previously, was in the OPL, and now Mammoth Academy. Oh man, Irelia with first blood, or sorry, an assist. And ZZZ getting a bit of tempo of his own. Against a Malphite. I mean, Malphite can't do too much yet. But let's be quite honest. Woo, spicy.
Well,
Buffalo Wings.
It's not just the assist, it's the CS lead, EXP lead. Now he's going to recall, spend all of the money he's earned, and get back into the lane with an item advantage. Double longsword it is. Looks like he's not willing to teleport. I'm not a huge fan of that. I think you want to keep up the tempo up there. Push in the Malphite, bully him around, especially with that huge item advantage you have, instead of saving the teleport to either reset faster again later or potentially influence the opposite side of the map.
Sonic making sure nothing's in there. There's no deep wards just yet from Mammoth Academy, and Fate and Sonic being quite patient with the push here, but Fate able to walk forward a little bit. And for Mammoth Academy, remember, tempo is actually, it's a good point, Tegan. It's how they live their life. It's how they live their game. No tempo advantage, and Mammoth Academy start making some weird decisions. Now, I think you and I were talking about this offset, whatever. Hang on. Not again.
Gale back up, and there's going to be another kill if they manage to let the start.
Popped and caught out again. Tekka has no summoner, so he's dying. And even ZZZ got a kill. Meanwhile, the Ignite mid. Owo burns down, and there it is. Chicken surprise.
Unspecialized, surprising everyone. The straight 1v1 in the mid lane. Burns his flash. Owo doesn't burn his, and huge pickup there for QT when it looked like Tekka was struggling in the top side. Unspecialized now. Building momentum for QT. You said Mammoth Academy live by momentum, you know, live their life a quarter mile at a time. Now, QT going to be able to answer.
Great to see a meal deal right in the center of the map, unspecialized. Almost level 6 as well.
No.
Yeah.
You're going to do it all game, aren't you?
No, that's probably it. But Serrated Dirk picked up for Owo.
That is not it. I know you.
No, one more, maybe two more. I'll dabble in a couple more surprises, don't you worry, T-Gun. Owo's picked up Serrated Dirk, though. And Serrated Dirk versus Hextech Revolver right now. Serrated Dirk's going to do more. So even though Unspecialized gets that kill, the response and a bit of extra CS means Owo should be able to get a next trade, and maybe a favorable trade at that. As look at that, flicks in the top side of the map, went for a lane gank, but Tekka doesn't have ult, so he's not going to risk it.
Let's go back on the mid lane here. Serrated Dirk will do more, yes, absolutely correct. However, I don't expect to see another 1v1 on the mid lane. Galio has hit level 6, Zed soon to follow. You don't want to fight him 1v1 anymore. Your whole goal is clear the wave, get to the sides. Make sure you do that as efficiently and as often as possible. So we'll be looking to see Unspecialized move to top side or bot side. I think the best play for QT here is get up top side, get Tekka to go in the second he hits level 6 and try and equalize that problem in top side. And instead of bot side, which seems like they're doing fine.
Well, at the moment, though, that condition was not enabled. Galio last game on Bombers. Treasy, right? He got one kill, and then from there, it didn't progress forward. Wasn't able to influence the rest of the map. So this is the difference. It's Drakon. He might just be caught out. But you're not going to be able to do anything underneath the turret. But as I was saying, T-Gun, one kill is a start, but it is not a completion, and we'll see where Unspecialized can make his move.
I hazard a guess it has to be top, though. I'm not sure how they would get in bot side here. You have a lane on the side of QT, Ezreal Karma, where you just want to safely farm, push it in, and not fight. You know, gentleman's agreement, Ezreal will poke, Varus will answer with a little bit of his own, but you don't ever want to take that fight as Ezreal Karma unless you've got huge poke damage down. And then you'll see the Varus and Morgana walk away.
Can I point out as well that for QT, this is standard. Even though Malphite is not standard, this is the first time we've seen standard. Tekka is not winning any of these trades anytime soon, especially not with a
Look at where Flick is, though. Tekka could potentially re-engage here. ZZ looks like he's sniffed it out, though. Bails, scouts out the area. This is... You're right, and Malphite, he's just going to eat a lot of dirt up here.
But, back to the point. Standard for QT has worked well in the past. This is standard enough considering the meta. We've returned to some normality. And QT, is it going to work out in their favor?
Well, they look like they're still trying to punish Owo in mid.
Just turned on to Flick.
That is
only level 5,
questionable.
Not what you want, Owo. Flick almost gets popped himself. A very dangerous move from Owo. His Ignite was not up. Another 5 seconds and he might have got the kill.
And that was a very, very scary ultimate for Owo to pull off. You're going next to a Galio who has his taunt available. That's, you're always going to take a lot of return damage, and very lucky to survive there is Owo.
Yeah. But again, unspecialized. Not able to push Owo out of the map. K-Pop's moving mid, but unable to get anything. Yali on the side, doing a bit of invading himself. Stability on the Rift this early in. Again, have not seen it here today. At all.
Especially in a Mammoth Academy game, you fully expect things to be going off rails as soon as possible.
Errors is a good conversation to bring up. You were saying to me that Mammoth Academy, they make errors where maybe they need to firm up, maybe they need to kind of control what they're doing. Hang on, pause that. Flick only level 5, but still happy to take the fight. Flash over the wall, dropped as well. Flick will find it. QUT, momentum in their favor.
Right as you speak about errors. Yele going very deep with no priority bot side, no priority in the mid side, and gets punished for it. And it's spots like that where they have so much priority in the top side. You don't need to be trying to then build a lead bot side as well. Go exacerbate the problem top side. That's where your attention should be, instead of trying to pick up small things bot side, because if they punish you, which QT just choose to do, that is a way for you to bleed out your lead.
QUT with that kill. Stability is the key there, but still on the top side of the map. 30 CS difference. And ZZZ's gotten exactly what he needs, but in the mid side, things are evening out. Unspecialized walking to the bot side. At the moment, Owo just going to pick up his blue, and nothing can really be done. Vision control being talked about again as Mammoth Academy controlling the bot side of River, so at least enabling Owo to move with Unspecialized if he does, but Unspecialized not going to be able to get an ult.
Every time you move to follow the Galio, you are always going to be late. That is the basis of global or semi-global ultimates, is you're chasing down and hoping that your team can stall out the play long enough.
That's not good whatsoever. Is this the 1v1 that's turned bad? It is. Mammoth Academy's mid laner survives thanks to Drakon and K-Pop.
There was no respect there by Unspecialized given to Owo. There were missing pings all up that river, and Unspecialized instead tries to take the 1v1, take the fight, but Mammoth Academy have rotated too quickly. They get the kill, and now with no Galio, you have to concede everything until he's up and in range.
Fate and Sonic tried to move to mid lane as well, but zoned off with a bit of ward coverage. And this Infernal Drake coming up in a minute, Mammoth Academy already have a Mountain sitting in their inventory. And again, collateral damage, a lot used for QUT to at least stabilize that mid lane. And I think stability, keyword in this game as we look at both teams trying to do exactly that at this 10-minute mark.
One thing we haven't seen is a Galio ultimate yet.
Yeah.
He has not gone to the side lanes, not been impactful, and when you pick Galio mid, you need to do that. You can't just sit there on the 1v1, which is what he's been doing.
Meanwhile, QUT pushing forward, and Flick just walks into the bottom side of the map. So yeah, we haven't seen a Galio ult. No first item picked up for Unspecialized as well, which it looks like he's going to a Hextech Proto Belt. Dustblade picked up by Owo. Now this is what we're talking about. This is when things get a little bit hairy. Oh, missed that CS, it's okay.
The question has to be asked, why are you not going topside when you pick Malphite? You have this very obvious go button, the way to initiate fights. Yes, he's significantly behind the Aurelia, but if you have a Galio up there, or even just Graves, you can start winning that.
I mean, look at the freedom right now. Unspecialized, he's not respecting it again, but this time he has help from Flick. A flash away. Owo wants to re-engage. The Death Mark and the Ignite doesn't tick over. QT's mid laner lives, but look at this. Frostblade Aurelia. ZZZ traveling through. Flick is 3 levels behind. Justice punched the heck out of there. Sarnakill, not sure what he's doing, but he's just been caught. And there it goes. Vanguard's edge. Heroic entrance finally used, but he just dies. Sarnakill going to get locked up as well. Chains of Corruption and Feint caught out. Mistake by QUT.
There we see the difference between a proactive play, which is what Mammoth Academy were making, chasing down the injured Galio, and a reactive play from QUT, trying to save the Galio, who was being initiated on by the Zed, by the Trundle, by the Aurelia. Mammoth Academy reaped the rewards. The only thing QT benefit from there is Tekka gets a little bit of a reprieve in terms of pressure, but Aurelia's coming back up with kills.
That's right. It's 40 CS lead. It's 3 kills on Aurelia. Tekka, you cannot 1v1. I do not know why he's here. Even in underneath the turret, ZZZ can make this work. Stun doesn't connect.
Tekka still has ultimate. So if Aurelia dove there, he would have made it work.
Well, we're going to negate some of the damage. Flick comes up, but near-sighted. Good hit by Flick. Shut down.
Still, we haven't seen the Malphite get active. We see Flick there being active. Tekka takes that extended trade, backs off, and Flick very quick. Make sure they make the most of it. But the team comp QT have, the Malphite, the Galio, it seems so clear to me what they want to do, which is get the Malphite in on the back line, get the Galio to layer on top of him and take a fight.
Oh no.
We haven't seen it yet.
A flash away from the pillar, in comes the gank, Yellow's found Sonic Huel and Mammoth, a favourable fight for them, a flash forward, Drakon. Waste the summoner, I think he thought he could get the kill.
It was so close,
Oh,
look
true
at
shot
Thomas.
barrage!
Wow.
Faint! You absolute animal. A good pick.
You saw Sanakul's health there, below 5% easily.
Yeah.
So you can't take it out on
All
Drakon.
right, Sega.
Why did he do that?
Anyway, Drakon flashed, he didn't get the kill, so who's laughing now?
I'd assume Fate laughing all the way to the bank.
And probably Sonic Kill as well.
Gets a trade kill in a 2v3 situation. That is the best case scenario.
Great wave clear, by the way.
Galio now with Protobell. He has so much wave clear. Get out of mid lane. Go somewhere else, even without your ultimate. Clear the wave and just run up the river. It's much like when you took Smite on Talon and Aatrox, where your whole plan was clear wave, go somewhere else. Didn't matter where, didn't matter what you did, just get out of the lane.
I mean, even Owo's walking up the scuttle, he takes it away. So even more map presence than a Galio mid, and this is the issue. You may be able to clear waves, but Owo's moving just as much as he is.
And the first ultimate we saw from Galio, ineffective.
Well, he was already dead.
Yep. Much like Nocturne, you judge them by their first few ultimates, and so far Galio not looking very good for Unspecialized.
Again, in the top side of the map, seems to be the focus of ZZZ. Just skyrockets ahead. Trinity Force with Tiamat. On an Aurelia versus a Malphite with Sunfire Cape. Now, Tekka, has he altered this game?
Were we not talking about this before the game started, about how you can stop the Zed, you can stop him from snowballing, but I was worried about the Aurelia.
All right, rightly so.
ZZZ with a massive lead, and you might be right. It doesn't seem like Tekka's ultimated. And even if he does, ZZZ is probably going to win that 1v1.
Yeah. At the moment, Tekka just hasn't fallen out of lane, hasn't moved around the rest of the map, and been waiting for Unspecialized. But QT, although it's a little bit more standard, Mammoth Academy, still a chaotic comp when you consider there's so many damage threats, so many possibilities for them. They're reveling in those damage potentials right now. It wasn't English, but I'll try again later. 40 CS in the middle lane. With that Dustblade, you now move on to Youmuu's, I assume. And we continue with Owo, one of his comfort champs. Old comfort champs.
QT are happy to take these slow games. Obviously, with Ezreal building a scaling build with the Manamune, you don't mind slowing the game down, keeping the pace nice and easy. But I'm not sure that's the right move. Malphite, yeah, he's always going to have that ultimate, but he's not going to be very tanky when it comes down to it. Varus is going to shred him to bits. Trundle's ultimate will help solidify that fact. Galio, the second he gets to late game, will do next to no damage.
Yeah.
For QT, we were talking before the game of, do they have the damage necessary? It's going to get worse and worse for them. Ezreal isn't known as the late game damage threat until he hits full build.
That's right. But still one item on everyone right now. So QT, they can be happy in the fact that they've got some matching power spikes, but Mammoth Academy moving past them, of course. The flash burn again for K-Pop. Yeah, okay. All right, man, settle down.
He tried.
Yeah.
That's all that can be said.
Now, can I talk about that one, T-Gun?
I'll go for it.
Okay, K-Pop, why'd you flash?
I'm going to say he was trying to make the best of a bad situation. It's the same thing we see time and time again, where teams, they see a mistake, they make a little mistake and try and fix it by just committing even more. And we see that there with K-Pop, just trying to get that catch after the Trundle wasn't able to get the Karma. She does flash away early.
Trying to extend it, trying to finish the laning phase, I feel.
Yeah, it's if you want to finish the laning phase, you just sit Yele in the wave. You know, it's going to take you 2, 3, 4 waves, but Ezreal, he can only clear so efficiently with his ultimate once every 4 or 5 waves. So you just wait. You have to commit a lot, but you will get out of that laning phase. And I think that benefits Mammoth Academy more than QUT.
You reckon? Yeah.
Ezreal wants to just sit there and scale. I mean, he gets at least 2 items.
To get out of laning phase, though, you could argue that ZZZ would be happy to stay in this laning phase. I mean, move around the rest of the map, yeah. Okay, look, I'll take that back.
I will say that it would be good for ZZZ himself, but worse for Mammoth Academy as a team.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
Because the Malphite right now is nothing.
Well, we just got first turret blood down in the bottom lane, so either way, it looks like there will be a swap and a change of pace. And Morgana going to go more towards mid lane, I guess.
Dragon.
Okay.
25 seconds till it spawns. Mammoth Academy have shown a lot of priority on it, so they'll likely go down, get the Dragon,
Infernal
then
Mouth.
path up.
Already got so many elementals to their name at this early in the game. And Infernal Mountain's going to be huge. Deck up, moving. There we go. Get out of there, Coral Reef. Let's start moving across the map.
QT look like they're setting up to contest this Dragon, and I like that choice. They're finally getting to what they have drafted for. Big fights, get the Malphite on the back line, get the Galio to go in with him and win the fight.
This is big. QT actually started this one up. Vision is blocked. Yale on the side just flashes over the wall. He'll get it anyway. Meanwhile, mid, a flash is forced out. Unspecialized there, but ZZZ Vanguard's edge hits everyone. They'll turn onto him, but not enough damage there. Mammoth are shredding them across the line. Owo just jumps back in. He'll go back in onto Feint, and a complete decimation with only Tekka left standing.
Mammoth Academy started that fight by catching Tekka. He was in transition, gets caught in the mid lane, in that bush, shut out of the fight completely. Doesn't even use his ultimate. Still yet to be cast this game. The rest of QT caught in that pit. Yale flashes over, gets the smite. And everything goes Mammoth Academy's way.
And now at 20 minutes moving towards the game, all the outers look to be broken here. ZZZ will take the last one. He got a kill off that trade as well. Starak's Gauge coming through next. This is a complete wipe so far. For what was a stable game, Mammoth have just turned up the tempo with Baron coming in 10 seconds. QT behind 7,000 gold.
So every time you want to stall out a game, there's always neutrals your opponent can force on. If it wasn't Dragon, it would have been Rift Herald.
Yeah.
So yes, even though it was an Infernal Drake, lovely for Mammoth Academy because they know that QT are going to have to contest it. If it was, let's say, a Wind Drake, they would have just contested Rift Herald instead. Force on another neutral objective.
Just off topic, I love how Owo's just sitting there waiting for Unspecialized. He's been there for about 30 seconds now, 40 seconds. Here we go.
There's nothing else to do.
Level advantage, death mark, award, just press the button.
So you say he was waiting for Unspecialized?
Or maybe someone else.
He was waiting for anyone but Unspecialized.
Okay, all right. The chicken, the turkey, whatever he is just a little bit tanky, naturally, I guess.
You would say he is not cooked.
As Carbon would say. Carbon casting was the highlight of my year. Like, whatever the...
That sounds like a slow year.
Well...
Not a knock on Carbon, by the way.
Oh,
but
yeah, no. So Carbon's not worth it, is it? Mate, he's playing next. I hope you don't have that same attitude when Legacy Genesis take to the Rift.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, it'll come back to bite you anyway. Mammoth Academy, here we go. The start of it. This is blind.
Taking a bite out of Baron is Yale. This is a little blind, but it's only 3 people. You still have Aurelia on the map, Zed on the map. They aren't aware of where they are, so
look how quick.
You can't check it as QT. You needed a blue trinket or something else to check this. Silent now going to find out, but it's too late.
Well, can he get a steal? I don't know. Presses it anyway. I was optimistic, T-Gun. Come on.
Oh, I was hoping for it. I would love to see that as a support player, stealing it with Mantra Q. That would be great.
Gleaming Quill is the highlight of my other year.
But if you say Baron is normally a 50-50 between junglers, what is that? That's a 99-1.
Nah, it's a 90-10.
No.
No, mate.
No.
I've seen some crazy stuff in League of Legends. This is a 90-10. Either way, QT don't get it, so let's move on from there. A 9k gold lead and 21 minutes of the game. Everything going right for Mammoth Academy to secure their 7th win and what could just be a safety net at this rate. QUT, it's just like Bombers last game. Although they're not in the threat of getting eliminated here, this could be the game that makes or breaks them. And against Mammoth Academy, a winnable opponent, a lot of people would say, this is one you cannot lose. But right now, Mammoth taking the wheel could just be forcing them to that position.
The more important thing is this is very likely going to be a head-to-head game.
Yeah.
If it comes down to it, and it's one they're dropping. Difficult for QT. They can still win this, mind you. They just have to be proactive. They can't let Aurelia set up in a side lane. Mammoth Academy will very happily 1-3-1 this to victory. They can put Aurelia top, Zed bot, and leave the 3 remaining in mid lane and be happy with it.
Tekka has ultimate True Shot Barrage, can't execute. QT on the defense, hold off for this wave, but for how much longer? After this as well, just a note on that, QT, they have to verse Intuition, which are our undefeated team, Dire Cubs, which are our 3rd place team right now. You don't want that. ZZZ might be caught out on Specializers there, but here we go again. ZZZ going to be ignited down, and they finally get him. Sonya, is he going to survive? He does. Tekka finally gets an ultimate, and here we go. Wombo combo denied. Unspecialized doesn't go in. He gets stunned up, and with the Vanguard's edge, with OO on the side, it goes horribly wrong. QT had such a chance to make things right. ZZZ will die under turret, but OO flashes forward anyway. A complete ace, and like the coral reef, it has been decimated on QT.
ZZZ baited that perfectly with the stopwatch. He timed that to perfection. QT finally get the engage they want. Malphite gets in on 3 members. Galio layers his ultimate, but Galio gets stunned up, stunned out of it. They don't win the fight, and now they lose the game.
And Mammoth Academy, 7-4. They walk towards that safety net. They defeat QUT, and we could be looking back at this game for years to come and say this was the game that changed it all. I was going to say heavens to come. I'm like, why would heavens be a time frame? But years, absolute years. Bonkers.
Yeah, sure.
So Tegan, talk us through that game. What just happened? Who was it? Who did we watch?
That was just Mammoth Academy winning all over the place.
Oh, great.
Especially in topside. Obviously, Owo had a little bit of difficulty getting started, but he was never at a detriment. And ZZ just huge pressure up topside.
Can I just say, can I talk to all, can we get this one? All OCS top laners, junglers, whoever, level 2 gank will happen time and time again. Usually top side, sometimes bottom lane, sometimes mid lane. But level 2 gank will happen. Drop your wards nice and early. Thank you.
Not even drop your wards, respect it.
Just leave.
He could have survived that level 2 gank if he flashed the Aurelia stun. Instead he was greedy, it stunned him, and then by that point he is dead. Respect it and be aggressive in your summoner usage when you see it happen.
What's this?
Not the finger I thought you were holding up.
No, this is one. I saw one ultimate. I saw one unstoppable force, and look, we don't want to be negative. We want to propel our players forward, but we want to see proactivity from QT, at least going forward when you're versing Intuition, when you're versing Diacubs next. Let's see that same proactivity that we saw at the start of the split from QT, and let's see it propel them into a potential win.
Yeah, they had such a great comp for them to be proactive, get aggressive. And it seemed like since they got behind top, they were scared. They weren't willing to pull the trigger up there, throw the Malphite in, the Galio, layer it in with Graves potentially up there as well. They were shying away from it. They weren't getting Malphite active anywhere else. So I would say draft was fine.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. But they need to just go back on it and say, why aren't we executing here?
On a lighter note, though, Mammoth Academy, I think, made one mistake, firmed it up, and then the rest of the game was quite clean.
Oh.
I think, okay, all right, mate. I think Mammoth Academy cleaned up quite a lot.
I agree.
In comparison to previous weeks, I think it was a lot sloppier. I think it was a lot messier. I think Mammoth have shown that they can firm up their, I guess, early game.
So I agree that I think that was a great game from them. Make no mistake about it, they did extremely well. They never looked in doubt.
You're being a critical player, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah.
There were multiple times where people were too far up on their own. ZZZ in that final fight, he barely survived on a sliver of health, and there was no need for you to initiate like that as Mammoth Academy. Yes, they win that fight because they had built such a lead, so they've earned that. But the way they went about it was not clean. The fight itself, brilliant. Don't get me wrong.
All right.
Blocked out the Galio completely.
Okay.
But the way they initiate it leaves questions of why are they doing it that way.
Well, going forward, they're going to have to firm up their play. They look like they're moving towards playoffs, but unfortunate for QT. See if they recover in the weeks to come. We've got one more game for you. Auto Academy and Legacy Genesis coming up after this. Welcome back to the OCS for week number 11. I'm Jake Asterix Osipenko, and this is Bradley Teagun Seymour, and we're into our very last game, which is Order Academy and Legacy Genesis, and finally we're here. No.
To the end of the night, or
no,
to this game, to seeing Minky and Carbon do whatever they do?
Yes.
Who knows?
That's what I was waiting for. Okay, so let's talk about Legacy Genesis from week 1. All right.
Yeah, all right. They sucked until about 3 weeks ago.
Well, that's very honest of you, but okay, let's...
Also true.
But, Teagun, we are being nice. And being nice is that Legacy Genesis were having fun. What?
I can tell you right now, losing is not fun.
No. But have you talked to Carbon? Have you asked him what he's doing?
No.
I mean, he's the head of esports now. He's a busy man. You can't expect him to be going in, 100% Legacy 2015 OPL.
All right, if you're that busy,
2014.
get another jungler.
Wow, okay.
Recruit a player.
Oh, that's harsh. All right, maybe he just wants to play League again.
I'm certain that's why he's here.
He wanted to retire. No, he retired. He went to head of esports. I think he's the first player to retire, apart from Radiant. I saw him also in the city the other day. We're keeping off track here for a second.
How about this? If Carbon is, he's too busy, how about you play for him?
Well, look, I don't want to...
You're a jungler? You're a jungler? You play Udi now?
I don't want to talk up my gold tactics, but let me just tell you that Udi is pretty good at the moment. Pretty good. But you need the skin. I don't have the skin. That's why I'm still gold.
It's Tourney Realm. You have all the skins. So
True.
you step in then, right?
So I just jump in. I'll start red. I go straight to enemy blue. No, I'm kidding. That's dumb.
That is the goldest pathing I've ever heard.
No, I got to scuttle first and get a bit of, go bot. Level 2 ganks. Hey, let's talk about that. Because tonight, that's going to happen. Again.
Well, it already has happened.
No, it's going to happen again.
Okay.
Right? This is like Morecambe and Wise, I swear. It's like comedy routine.
Who's gonna do it then? Is it Legacy? Is it Carbon going top to help out Minky?
Well, I feel like it is. I feel like it's been done in the past. I feel like, not by Carbon and Minky. I feel like it's been done in the past too many times. And especially in this meta now, we're into 8.14. 8.14, we're seeing more standard. We're seeing 80 carry bottom lanes return in a big way. Xayah has been a priority pick tonight, but also Lucian. And we've seen Varus and Ezreal in that last game, which was strange.
Yeah, Ezreal would be more of an outlier at this point as well because of the teleport changes and just strength returning with Stormrazor. So we are seeing a bit of variety, but I'd expect it to just sort of settle on Xayah and Lucian primarily. Mostly.
And by the way, if you're wondering why we were talking, and I went from Raydeer to now 80 carries, we are waiting, unfortunately, for this next game to go ahead. We're just waiting for players. So, yeah.
Players are the worst.
Man, yeah, Teagun, players, especially support players, man. Supports are just hopeless. No? Okay. Anyway, moving on. Let's look at those rosters there. If we can get them up super quick, please. That'd be great. Thank you so much. And look who's playing right here. It's players. No. In all seriousness, for Order Academy, 3-7. Now, like Bombers, they have to win this game to have a chance.
Yep.
To have a chance. Legacy Genesis also have to win here.
I will say Legacy Genesis, week 13, they have intuition. So they need to win this week and next week to have a chance at making playoffs, because you can't go in saying, oh, we'll definitely win week 13, so, we'll take it a bit easy.
It's a good warm-up to get to there. But is Order Academy a warm? Not really. Chungy has had some pretty good weeks. 3-7, Order Academy have done better than expected. Like Avant Academy, the organizations have styled their teams for growth. I did not do that on purpose, but I realized I just did. They have made their teams all about growth and developing these said players.
As much as it pains me, I actually want to talk about Styled, so I just I need to acknowledge that was terrible. Okay,
thank you so much.
Unlike Styled, who I think has the chance to start to come into being a top player. Himself and Huey, they haven't had great showings. They've looked a little shaky, and I can tell you right now, they are good players, especially in solo queue, quite high up there. Styled more so. So they need to showcase that on stream. They need to showcase it when it counts in competitive. And you can't just rely on Chungy, which is what Order Academy do. They just hope that Chungy, they pull the resources there, give him a champion that he's comfortable on, and let him dictate the pace of the game.
I think talking about style, we might see a mage bottom lane. Even though it's out there, and at the moment it's kind of losing favor. In the OCS, people haven't wanted to try something new, but I think props to Order Academy's bottom lane. They've been moving with the meta. They've looked okay. Styled, yes, back and forth, and Huey follows suit, of course, being the support. But styled in weeks 1, 2, and 3, Cogmore. Remember, there was a week where we changed into 8.12 or 13. Cogmore. And I want to take this time to apologize to Styled because I talked bad about his champion. And not about him. I've never talked bad about any player, just about the champions.
So just to style, not all Cogmore players, just the one individual.
No,
Cogmore
not the
player.
one Cogmore player. Just Cogmore. I thought Cogmore would
So
be
not even
moved to-
styled then?
No, but it's his champion. Like when you get talked bad about, when someone you play gets talked bad about, like a champion. When people talk bad about Blitzcrank, do you get offended?
No.
Well, you should. It's
I
your
should not.
champion.
Sure.
Or Karma.
They're not talking bad about me, though.
Or Alice. What do you play?
Morgana.
What's first you on an ARAM? Play Morgana.
That sounds likely.
I think I said something bad about immunity. I'm sorry. Also, anyway, I'll take this chance to apologise to Cogmore as a champion. He's okay.
You've got a long list of apologies.
I do, but not to players, just a champ. Oh, maybe one to
A
come.
lot of different things.
Yeah, maybe. We are filling for time, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't guessed already, and I think that gives it away when I say filling for time. We're waiting for Order Academy and Legacy Genesis to go ahead, so what you're going to be listening to is us, maybe calling for the lineups again. Not yet. Hold on, production. Not yet. We're not there. We might call for it maybe in about 5 minutes.
You are the worst at filling.
Am I?
You don't tell them that you.
No. I've got to the point.
I have so much I could talk about with this game.
And we are going to, Tegan.
No, instead, you're just like, hey guys, put the solo on me. We're filling.
See? Dude, you're just as bad as I am.
No.
You're just as bad as I am. You want to talk about the game? So do I. But the thing is, I've been filling for years, Tegan. I've been in this spot for years. All right, I worked my way here to fill, and I'll be damned if I won't be allowed to fill in times of necessity. Order Academy, they have just done so well against teams we didn't expect them to do. Avant Academy and Ground Zero. And this is Ground Zero during the hype. Yes, don't wink at me like, what are you talking about? Ground Zero during their highlight. They have found a win.
I thought you were a mammoth guy, all right? But the amount that you loved Ground Zero tonight, you're shifting.
But Mammoth didn't even verse Ground Zero.
Yeah, you tipped him in the OPL.
And won 2-1.
That's why he's had a good week, by the way.
That's why.
His team won.
Well, it's not my team.
They're your boys.
Man, I tell you what, I'm so glad I rooted against X5 when they were in the OPL. Continue.
All right, fair enough.
Do you want to talk about Order?
Yeah, sure.
Man, shut
they play too much through Chungy. That's my opinion, is they, especially if they do want to make a run at playoffs and start playing best of threes, they need some sort of variety. You can't just have the same strategy and go to it time and time again. Teams like Intuition Chiefs Academy, they are going to plan around that.
Yeah.
I guarantee going into those games, yes, Intuition, they could just, on merit alone, play standard and very likely take out the game. But if they have the ability to completely neutralize your one win condition, they will do that. They will throw Harry a little bit wayward. And say, you know what, you're not getting resources this game, just play passive and don't die, and we're going to win everywhere else.
All right.
So you need to show that, yes, Styled is a threat. Kwaku is a threat.
I think Kwaku has been a threat. I think Kwaku has some individual picks that have been banned away. Poppy is getting banned each week.
Yep.
So the fact that it merits a ban when a champion on a team that's probably not doing as well as... Oh, they're doing better than a lot of people expect, but not doing as well as maybe they could have, is now an opportunity to be like, okay, Quaker's Poppy merits a ban. What else can be taken away from a team that has individual pressure?
Yeah, I agree that he's getting these bans, but I would say just because he's getting the bans, it doesn't mean he's a threat. They're just neutralizing the champions that he is a threat on and making him fall back onto something that he isn't so scary on.
True.
So he ends up being a neutral lane, a lane that you can just leave him over there and say, you know what, yeah, just play top lane on your own. We're not going to go up there. Jungler will stay bot side. And Alawi, she's great at defending ganks, but when you don't gank, it doesn't matter.
Well, Quaker found himself pretty far behind in Order Academy. He started losing through the top side.
He was struggling in that game.
He was. I can't remember who it was against, but I'm not going to test you either. Don't worry. Every time, like, Tegan, who was that against?
I have a pretty horrible memory.
Avant Academy? I'm not sure. No, it wasn't because they won. One more question for you, because we're going to be here for a couple of hours, folks, apparently. I don't know. Carbon went for a walk. I'm sorry. I'm kidding.
There was a time where we were delayed because someone was in the shower.
Was it Carbon?
No, I'm not saying who it was. I'm not saying what team it was, but that has happened.
Actually, I remember this because I'm like, oh, why are we delayed? Like, someone's in the shower. I'm like, well, you know what? Hygiene before... what rhymes with hygiene? For jungle.
You are not a rapper.
I am not a rapper, nor am I a wordsmith, nor am I good at filling, apparently, says Bradley Tegan Seymour. I'm going to give you one more thing before I ask what's going on and maybe get something in my ear. With this patch change, does it favour any of these teams? Legacy Genesis have been Strange, Quintop, Carbon Jungle with Riven.
I would say, if anything, I guess it favours Order Academy purely because The jungle change, Hunter's Machete having that debuff, meaning you can't really farm waves excessively. Carbon, if he gets super ahead, which we saw in Riven, might not be able to tax waves. So it doesn't. I'm not saying it favors Order Academy. I'm saying it doesn't help Legacy Genesis.
Well, we've seen a Yasuo mid tonight. I'm going to bring it back to Chungy because Order Academy's mid laner has been a highlight. And although, yes, they are focusing a lot around him, if they're going to do it anyway, I would like to see Chungy prioritize Yasuo. I assume by what I saw, there's going to be blue side Order Academy. So I am...
if the game starts?
If the game starts, it'll get there eventually. We are still waiting on players, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to be here for a while. And
back on mid lane. I think, playing through Chungy, as much as I deride Order Academy for it, if there's a game to do it, it would be against Legacy Genesis. We show that they don't really give Halo priority. They put him on safe things and just leave him alone. They put him on Ornn. You can't say that you're putting your mid laner on Ornn and you value him as your carry threat. So if you are just going to go through mid lane at any time, which Order Academy generally do, against Legacy Genesis, pretty good time to do it.
I think so. I think Legacy Genesis, though. Later half of this split, it's again the same with Mammoth, where Mammoth had a pretty shocking start to the split.
I would say inconsistent.
Inconsistent is a good word for it. Legacy Genesis had a pretty shocking start to the split. There you go. Order Academy, back and forth, and I think anything that was going to be a win was going to be favorable because Ground Zero, although they had players that came originally from Open Ladder back when it was kind of dismantled back in 2017, they were playing through some of the amateur competitions to get up to the OCS level. Teams like Order Academy, Chungy I've heard of. Everyone else, I'm like, where did these people come from?
Well, I mean, surely you heard of Huey as well.
I've heard of Huey. Next game of Huey.
All right, got to throw that to him. But yeah, there were a lot of players where they were searching. They were trying to find the star of tomorrow. That's what they were trying to do, is find someone they can build up.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing what Cheese Academy and Intuition did, which is build essentially super teams.
Isn't that what Legacy Genesis is doing, though? Considering you take Minky, you take Carbon and Crazy out of it, because, I mean, they're older players.
I would say, they're surrounding their newer players, Halo and BWAC, with veterans. And that's why I want to see them place more priority on mid lane. See,
BWAC's not that old, though. Not that new, though. BWAC played in the OCS with Athletico. He played with Guncrab. Good old Guncrab. So BWAC has had experience in top-tier OCS teams, but he just hasn't kind of been pushed over the line. And Legacy Genesis, I'm asking, is this better experience for him, or is this more a fact of just getting to a point?
It's just comparatively to Crazy, to Minky and Carbon. Obviously, no one or very few people in the OCS are going to have as much experience as them. But that's why I want them to place a priority on Halo. That is a player who I personally have not seen much of. I have seen him in solo queue, mind you.
Seen him on mid. I think we saw him that week.
Yeah, but we don't see them give him something he can carry on.
Yeah.
He's not going to play Zed. He's not going to be playing Zoe. He's going to more defensive things. Orianna would be much more likely on him, especially tonight when it's a blind pickable champion. I wouldn't be surprised to see Legacy Genesis just take that super early so they can hide the top and the jungle picks.
Yeah, Legacy Genesis, look, mid-priority, will it happen? Maybe as things stabilize, maybe that's the chance for Halo to come back in.
Yeah.
I'm not too surprised, though, that Legacy Genesis have two fresher members, though. I think being surrounded is the word I'm looking for, by competitive older people.
You tried to make that sound nice. You were tiptoeing around it.
What am I trying to say?
Veterans, experienced players.
Thank you, veterans. I think it's a good way to go, considering when Legacy in the OPL have... You're just watching what's going on. Well, OPL's over there.
So the thing you have around your wrist, it's not a watch.
No, it's not. It's like a
bunch of Quinn feathers.
Zoom in on this.
It's like a bunch of Quinn feathers.
They can't zoom in, unfortunately.
I hope not.
So I got this from some kind of festival thing that came recently.
Did you get it because it looked like it could be League related?
No. It's like Game of Thrones related.
Oh, well, I don't watch that.
Oh, well, you should. Everyone watches it.
Everyone tells me I should. I'll get there.
You should. It's not... People don't watch it just because it's cool. People watch it because it's a great show. All right, that's what you need to know. Anyway, back with Legacy in the OPL. Legacy in the OPL had brought up Raid, Decoy. I mean, Raid originally went to Abyss. Yeah, Lost. I mean, Lost is now...
Cupcake.
Congratulations to the Lost, who just got promoted to the LCS team. Like, not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
That's amazing.
Pretty good.
Making the LCS team right now as an import. Mind you, he takes up an import slot much like you would take someone from Korea or China.
Yeah.
That is huge. So big props to him.
Yeah, big props.
Legacy have done that with lots of players.
They have. So now Decoy, I mean, like, you're not going to replace Decoy. I think he feels comfortable with it. Decoy's doing a pretty good job at the moment, Legacy in the OPL. That's for the other guys tomorrow to talk about how they're going anyway. did not put my tips against them in Tectonic. That was a mistake. Like, I always bet against Tectonic because they're going to have their fall. And I put it a 2-0 to Tectonic. That's not me. I wanted 2-0 to Legacy, and that's what they got. I can't because the game's done.
Oh, you mean...
This was last week.
Okay. I thought you meant...
No. Game's done and dusted, mate. It's done and dusted.
Unlucky.
So I have been told that we are still waiting, unfortunately, for players. We're going to get there, as I've said many times before. I used to have to fill in the open ladder.
Couldn't tell.
I did the open... you couldn't? Well, I didn't have camera angle. Now I play with camera angles. I have that camera now, and you've got that camera. We've got a wide. I mean, we're spoiled for cameras. Back in my day, yeah, see, this close-up didn't exist. Back in my day, T-Gun, the open ladder, you had one camera, and you were there for 10 hours. And I sat there, and I held it in for 10 hours.
I'm proud of you, dude.
Thank you so much. It was so difficult. So damn difficult. Anyway, we are going to get there eventually, folks. And look, I mean, we did have notes, but it is, it's a good time to be alive.
I mean, if you want to go back to the games, it's as simple as this.
Please.
Or lose, they're out. Legacy Genesis, even if they win, it's still a struggle to get.
If they lose, they're out. Are they?
Legacy Genesis, no.
Okay.
No, there's still, that Hail Mary, this has to happen and this has to happen. They can make it.
I mean, they get
that would require them to beat Intuition in the final week as well, which is probably the least likely of all of the scenarios that they need to happen.
Well, they're a team full of surprises. So right here, right now, we could say that if Legacy Genesis, they can get the win over Order tonight, if they can get a win next week, if they can face Intuition at their best, maybe.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't count them out, especially with what Carbon and Minky have shown, that they're willing to go to really unorthodox things. And if that's how you're going to take down a team, especially if you do say that, Intuition are these big favorites, if you throw these surprising things that they're not ready for, that's a good way to do it.
I'm so sorry to bring you the bad news. Do we want the solo camp for this as well? We may as well. Let's bring it up. One more? No, okay. Unfortunately, Order Academy have forfeited. They were unable to fill a roster in time, so Legacy Genesis got the win.
They're out. That is the worst way to go.
That is,
oh my gosh.
That is a bad way to finish it. However, on a lighter note, let's look at today's results. And you just had to listen to us, Phil, for nothing. I am so sorry. But because of that, Legacy Genesis will get a win and Order Academy get a loss.
Now, for playoff implications, Legacy Genesis, we were saying before, if they win out, they are pretty likely to do it. Obviously, the forfeit win helps them.
Yep.
Now, if they win next week, they can maybe even afford a loss to Intuition.
I think so, but Intuition right now undefeated. There is a pretty good run for Intuition. I mean, they go up against Ground Zero was today, Legacy next week.
If there is a team that is, or if there are players that are used to being the underdogs, it's got to be Carbon and Minky.
You reckon?
They have been so often the underdogs on Legacy and the OPL that they have to be used to it and have to be aware of it and how to play into that game. So if there's a team ready for Intuition, it's at this point, you have to say it's Legacy Genesis.
That's right. We're going to have a look at the standings as well. I really wanted to cast this last game. It's such a bummer. But recovering from that, let's talk Turkey.
That's a bit cooked.
Our top 6 at the moment goes up to Crimson. Now, Ivana on the outskirts, QT as well. And because of that forfeit win, Legacy on 5.
Yeah, it's still not set in stone. Obviously, all these teams that have now got to 7, that's what we were saying is the safety number to make sure you are fighting in top 6. But it's still, no one is solidified except Intuition and Chiefs Academy.
See, Ivana can climb this.
Yeah, for sure.
They can get to 7. They go up against Legacy and Tectonic. So they're very winnable games. And sorry to butt in, you're saying winnable games, but also nothing set in stone.
Yeah, it's as simple as like, you can say, yeah, Tectonic Academy on 4 and 7, yeah, they're pretty much done and dusted. Yeah, there's still ways for them to make it, but they would require no one be above 6 wins for that 6 seed. It's such a struggle, but Legacy Genesis, QT, Ivana Academy, they all have ways to break into that top side. I'm
curious because seeding will matter as well. You do not want 6th seed because you'll be going up against Intuition in that first round, and you will be putting yourself up in a very dangerous place.
Well, it's top 6, right? So wouldn't Intuition and Chiefs Academy just be seeded through?
Well, yeah, probably. Anyway, let's have a look at next week's games. We'll talk about playoff brackets as we get there, Dig. Anyway, that one on Wednesday, we might have to cast that. I say that every week. But look, Diacubs and Emprox.
That's a massive game when it comes to playoffs. Also, Mammoth Academy, Chiefs Academy. 2 huge games. They have 3 games, Legacy, Genesis, and Ivana Academy.
That is playoff implications right there, as a potential.
All 3 of them do. Chiefs Academy can play spoiler to Mammoth Academy. Avant Academy Legacy Genesis, winner of that, likely makes that run for 6th seed or potentially 5th seed.
Yep.
And then Dicubs, Emprox, they might not be playing spoiler, but they're fighting for that 3rd, 4th seed.
Not only that, Darksided and Ground Zero, although they are out and cannot make playoffs, they can spoil Crimson Gaming. They can spoil Tectonic Academy. If Tectonic take a loss, then that's huge.
Yeah. Well, if Tectonic take a loss, that's it.
Yep.
Done. So they need that win.
That's it. Well, that's next week. That'll be week 12, and we're coming towards the end of the OCS for the 2018 split. Big thank you to Bradley Teague and Seymour who dealt with all mine. Now we're going to tomorrow's OPL. Let's go. Let's go right there. Thank you so much. I feel like it's a bit of a hingers moment, except not as well executed. Hey, tomorrow. So what you missed out on today, you'll get to see tomorrow. Legacy versus Order. That'll be the 7 p.m. game.
And the start of tomorrow makes Jake happy. Mammoth playing underdogs against Direwolves.
I have bet on the Direwolves.
Betting against your boys.
They're not my boys, Tigger. I'm trying to be unbiased here. You're putting me towards Mammoth. That's Bradley Tigger and Seymour. I've had enough of this. I haven't. I really wanted to cast that last game. I'm Jakey Serek Penko. Big thank you to production for dealing with my this week. And we'll see you next week for the second last week of OCS. Bye.